with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Give me 2 seconds. Sounds like something weird is happening on the scenes. That isn't working. Hold on 1 second. All right, having a little technical difficulties, apparently. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. I see some ones in the chat. Ones. Awesomeness. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is amazing. Thank you for joining us. We have some interesting speak pipes. Sorry for the late start. I was trying to upload some photos so I can give you guys an update as to what I was working on, but none of that worked because apparently that's what we're doing this week. Just technical difficulties all the way around, just to keep things interesting. Let me just hit this last little stretch. Yeah, we had a lot of speak pipes come in, so I'm very excited about getting right to it, and we're actually just going to jump right into it. Just so you guys know, I've been working on my because like I said, I had some stuff I wanted to do in my office so that I can get things shape and Top Gun, so I can just streamline my whole process, start putting out way more content, and yeah, it's actually going really well. Like I'm doing a like I said, I mentioned before when we were talking about Aspen's husband who does woodworking. I also do some woodworking. So I'm going to feature a piece of my art, my woodworking in my background. I actually have two pieces, but one is like, you know, I really put my thing on it, put my stamp on it. So I'm a little excited for you guys to check that out. Or at least, I don't know. We'll see. Because, you'd be like, yeah, I'm excited for y'all to see it. And you see it, be like, it's okay. Nah, it's all right. But yeah, we'll be rolling that out soon enough. I'll post some pictures. Maybe I'll put some pictures up on Sunday when we do our after show, so you guys can see like the before. Because I took some pictures after I cut everything, and now I'm getting ready to go into the painting and staining stage. So very excited about it. Tracy said, very excited to see other people's art. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, it's crazy thing about art is that you always put yourself in it. So there's always that part of it. And like I said, her Aspen's husband is really good. So I'm not trying to compete. I'm just saying I woodwork too. I could build tables and all that too, but I think we kind of do two different types of woodworking. So we'll see. All right. So here we go. This is actually we got some good speak pipes, like I said. We're gonna dive right in. No waiting, because these are good and I want to make sure we get them all. All right. So thank you for leaving a speak pipe. If you want to leave a speak pipe so that we can react to it on Thursdays, by all means, leave that speak pipe. The first speak pipe I'm going to react to is actually something that I invited you guys to do. This anonymous person who asked to remain not only nameless, but did not have their message played, had questions with regard to the accounting work that was done by Janelle. Now, and I'm trying to be very fair with this person's questions. They have experience as an accountant themselves, the person who called in and left the message. And the message was essentially this. The question was essentially this. They're confused as to why Janelle seems so confused as to where the money went. With respect to if you are taking in receipts, right? You're in charge of turning over receipts for money that's spent. You see where the money is going, et cetera, et cetera. There's certain deductions that you can make if you make certain purchases, especially for businesses or things of that nature, which you might be able to deduct from your income and lower your tax burden. And so what they were asking is, as a bookkeeper, you need, because you're doing submitting all this for deductions, you need to be able to distinguish at least even the idea of being able to balance the books. You have to know what's going out and where it went in order for you to properly balance the books. Like if you get paid $100, you don't want to have somebody trying to balance a checkbook saying, yeah, I spent 78 of it. Right? You want to have some description as to where that money went, what it went towards, if it can be used as a deduction, because that would be the smart thing to do. If you are in a position where you're making, especially you're making over six figures, you're in a different tax bracket altogether. So you really want to take advantage of any potential tax breaks that you have. In fact, I say that when you are making the kind of money that the Brown family was making, there's absolutely, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Janelle, at least not right now. I'm not taking a shot at Janelle, but in all fairness, if you're making six figures plus, you don't need somebody who's in there doing your taxes. Okay, you don't go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or somebody. You need an accountant. Okay, you need an accountant and potentially a financial planner. So it would really help if you had an accountant who was also a licensed, not somebody, yeah, man, I know how to make money, player. I got an idea. What we're going to do is we're going to open up some car washes. You know what I mean? It'll be amazing. Go open up some chicken joints. No, you need a financial planner, somebody who can say, this is where you need to place your money. This is how much you need to set aside. Thinking about retirement, this is an opportunity. It's not a career. Like as long as they've been on the air, God bless them, they've been on the air for 15, 16 years now. That's abnormal. This is an opportunity. This is not a career. So taking this opportunity, you want to try to set as much money aside as possible and intelligently invest as much money as you can. So you really need a financial planner is what I would think. And the problem that I think the Brown family runs into is that they won't do a financial planner or an accountant because Cody doesn't want anybody telling him what to do with the money. He wants to spend the money how he wants to spend the money. And nobody's smarter than him, and nobody has more information than him, and nobody can tell him what to do because he knows what's good for him and the family. And so that's why you have so much foolishness going on with this particular family right now. The reason why the money is jacked up is because you don't have a financial planner. The reason why the money is all over the place and people are buying property and their name isn't on it and they're putting money down and they're not being accounted for the investment that they're making from, say, their home sales. Looking at Christine, Mary, and Janelle when they sold their homes in Vegas and gave the money to Cody so he could buy the McMansion for Robin. And then now their money is tied up in the Robin's house. But at the same time, they also gave them money for Coyote Pass, and none of their names appear on Coyote Pass, at least not in an equitable state. But somehow that worked out. That's because you're not talking to somebody who is looking out for the family financially. Now, here's another secret, guys. Another secret. If you're making that kind of money, first and foremost, first rule, get yourself an accountant. An accountant, when you go to buy a car, for instance, you have an LLC, you go to buy a car, an accountant or a financial planner will be able to say, an accountant especially, CPA, not somebody doing your taxes, CPA. They'll be able to say, look, instead of you buying that car, you should buy this car. Like there are tax breaks you get for, like, for instance, why everybody was getting a G-Wagon, that Mercedes-Benz. There's a reason why they were doing that, because you get a tax break for that particular vehicle. Right? The tonnage on that vehicle with depending on how much money you made and all that. There's a whole bunch of things that you can figure. But there's a reason why that car was so popular among people who were making a lot of money, because they were writing that shit off on their taxes. There's certain cars that will cost you money no matter how you cut it. And a financial planner will also tell you, if you have a good one, They'll tell you, look, you don't make enough money to buy a Lamborghini. You don't make enough money to buy that new house, right? Unless you live in that house. Like, unless you like sitting on milk crates. I mean, the choice is yours. Maybe that's your interior decorating design, that you want to sit on milk crates and shit, and you want to eat off of cardboard boxes that's folded and broke down so you can eat off the cardboard boxes and every day is a picnic. Maybe that's what you want. But unless that's what you want to do when you're 60 years old and you somehow enjoy cat food, I suggest you put your money aside and keep pushing that. Go get, instead of getting a Mercedes Benz, you get yourself a Toyota or a Honda or something, right? Something reliable and something that you can have for a number of years. They could also tell you whether it's beneficial for you to lease a car as opposed to purchasing a car. They can give you a whole bunch of tips and tricks and how you can spend your money, especially when your tax burden is going to be so high, because you have to do something to reduce that tax burden. If not, you're paying out way more money in taxes than you really want to or should. Right. The reason why that book is so thick isn't necessarily for poor people. It's for people who make 6+ figure. The top 1%, that's who that book is for. That tax code is for. Most of us can fill out a 1040 easy form. We good. But that's the whole point. Like, so when Cody's not getting it, like, the reason why he's not being super specific, the reason why, in fairness to Janelle, I think the reason why she doesn't know where a lot of that money went is because she, even though she may have done taxes and she may have worked in the financial sector, I don't think that she's actually an accountant. I don't think that's where her professional skill set is. So she just might not know to ask or do the necessary things. The other side of that is Janelle absolutely knows where the money went. And she know what the money was being spent on. And she didn't say anything. That's a different problem. Because now, although I said previously when we were talking about the tell-alls that I was insulted, and if I was Janelle, putting myself in her position on what Cody was saying, she, him accusing her of being the one who was taking the money, not paying bills. She's the reason why the money's missing. Boo-boo, he's saying you stealing the money. If you knew the money, where the money was going, and you knew he was taking it, and you didn't say anything, and you enabled him by not saying anything and covering for him, you're what they call, in some legal parlance, and this isn't a legal assessment, this is just me talking, you could potentially, in my opinion, not trying to say this is the law or anything, but in my view, you would be a conspirator, co-conspirator, or at least a conspirator after the fact. Because he's taking the money, he's spending the money, you're covering for him. If somebody commits a crime and you cover for them, you are part of the conspiracy. You're an accomplice, right? You're not a victim, you're an accomplice. And that's a different thing. So, I mean, I'll leave that to you guys to figure out which it is, whether she knew and she was an accomplice or she didn't know, in which case, I stand on that business too. I have zero problems with telling people I don't know something. If you don't know, you don't know, right? And if you don't have the skill set, it's not a point of pride that he entrusts you and the family, trusts you to do the books. And, I can't let them down. I'm going to do the books because I'm logical. The logical thing to do is for you to remove yourself from that responsibility if you can't have it or handle it, and or you don't have the education to handle it. There's a whole bunch of shit that's going to be going on, especially with the level of money that they were making. There's too much going on for you to sit there and try to play around with those numbers, because you can turn around with a tax bill that'll blow your mind. You know what I mean? Because especially the way they get paid, it's not like when you work a 9-to-5 job. Okay, when you get paid from, say you get paid from Puddle Monkey or whatever the hell it is, Puddle Jumpers or whatever, right? You get paid from them, depending on how they send that money out, because you're not necessarily getting a check from Puddle Monkey. You might be getting it from TLC, which could have their location, their mailing address could be, say, in California, as a for instance, right? And your taxes will go through California, meaning that they'll take out your federal taxes, but they won't take out your state taxes. And maybe they won't take out enough taxes. Or on a state level, they take out your state taxes, your federal taxes, but they don't take out your local taxes. This is all stuff that has to be worked out. And if you aren't up on that and paying attention, then at the end of the year, they will hand you a bill. When you do your taxes, they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's great. You owe us, making several $100,000. You potentially owe them, excuse me, you could potentially owe them like $20,000, $30,000. You got to stroke out a $30,000 check, right? And that could be enough to put some people in the prison. Okay, so I'm just saying, great question. Thank you for leaving that message. If you guys want to do that, I have no problem talking about it. But let's get to it. Let's get to it because it ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's take a listen to what's going on. Let me take off a couple things. I got to make some adjustments. There we go. First person we're going to bring up is Brittany, not Brittany. Always interested. One of the mega mods, part of the mega mod squad. Brittany, not Brittany. Take it away.
Hey, James. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about from this past week's episode is this whole bullshit ass story about them needing a new house so that way the family can come over, like all of Cody's kids can come over and truly can have a place to stay. And like when they bought the original McMansion, they bought it during a time period where the family was cool. The kids were talking to Cody, truly liked Cody, truly wanted to be around Cody. And you bought that house with nowhere for her to stay. You bought that house with no way for the family to come over comfortably. Is that what you're telling me? That's what you're telling me. That when y'all originally bought the house, y'all didn't buy it with the intention for family to stay over. But now that nobody talks to you fuckers, now you want a house big enough for them to come over. First of all, Cody has to actually call his kids for them to want to come over. That's number one. And number two, you're full of shit. Like, plain blank period, y'all are full of shit. And this is, again, why nobody likes you.
No lies detected. No lies detected. See, here's the
Hey,
jacked up
James.
part of.
So,
Wait, hold on a second. Here's the jacked up part about that whole thing. Is that 100? Like Brittany's 100% right. When push them down and shove, you bought that big ass house supposedly because you needed to house all your children. That was the reason why he gave during one of the episodes. I have that house to house my children. I didn't buy that house for Robin. I bought it to house my kids. Right? But now all of a sudden, that big ass house, all that house, you didn't have enough room to put truly can't stay there and have a place to stay. That's insane. Oh, I gotta buy a big old little shit show chateau, little mini mansion, because the house they bought is bigger. It's got like a big ass garage, and it's got like an RV garage attached to it. I've seen it. The interior and stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm not impressed. Like I don't be a snob about it, but it's like for the amount of money that they spent, and the house needs some updating. It needs a lot of updates, like the bathrooms, the kitchen, in other words, the most expensive parts of the house to renovate. It needs that renovation. So again, like you guys are in a situation where you're not intelligently investing your money. Like you see my hands got a little paint on them, but you're not intelligently investing your money. You're just not. And you're throwing good money after bad. Most people, Cody's he's middle-aged. Like Cody is damn near a senior citizen. Like he's not even middle-aged anymore. He's approaching senior citizen status. My man is about a couple years off of getting a Social Security check. Right? And now is not the time for you to buy a house with a 30-year fucking mortgage. At 60, like almost 60 years old, you get a 30-year mortgage, you'll be 90 years old trying to pay a house off. Most people, when they hit that advanced stage, and I'm not even saying like advanced stages and like you're a crippling codger, can't do nothing. You know what I mean? You're a geezer. I'm saying that when you hit a certain age, you hit a certain point, you realize your kids are moving out and they're moving on with their lives. You don't try to get the biggest house you possibly can unless you love, 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 love cleaning. If you are like, that's the thing. Like when I was a young dude, I remember I would first look at houses and stuff. I wanted to get this like I want a big old house with a lot of land. I want to have like 2-3 acres. The crazy thing, when you have that much land, you have to love cutting grass. Okay, you gotta be a grass cutting fool. Every time I live in the Northeast, so every time you turn around, like a season changes, and you either out there shoveling snow, or you're out there raking leaves, or you're out there cutting grass, right? Right? You spend so much time outside, it's insane. Like, and so when you get yourself like, how big is that house? Like, I don't even remember. I remember it's significantly bigger than the house they had, which was already bigger. What size? Let me see. Robin and Cody Brown house size. Okay. So they have a house that's a total of 7,884 square feet of living space. This total includes the 5,596 square foot main house and a 2,288 square foot guest house on the property. Okay, so their guest house is bigger than some people's houses, right? To start. Second part is that much house, you are cleaning all the time. You're cleaning all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these kids need to get, like, all them kids, forget summer jobs. Y'all come work here, and I'm going to put y'all to work. Y'all either dusting, vacuuming, taking out trash, wiping stuff down. You will always be cleaning. And as you get older, you don't want to do all that damn cleaning. That's why when people start getting older, their kids start moving out. They look to start trying to downsize their house, not, upsize their house. That's people pretending to be rich, right? So, and then we get into like the whole thing of like, oh, I'm doing this because of my kids and I want to bring my kids by and that way I have a place for my kids to stay. Like, if you couldn't find a place for them to stay, I know people who have houses not even a quarter that size. And they're able to house everybody when people come over, they're able to pull a couch out, or people have to bunk out on couches or whatever the case may be, or they do what normal people do, which is they go get a hotel. Right? They go get a hotel or whatever. They want to have privacy. They want to have a room. You get a hotel room. Why? Because what's the purpose of me having and maintaining a big ass house on the off chance event that you might come by once a year to come visit? And if you have a job, if these kids have a job, how long are they staying? Like, how long do you think your kids can, like, when they come and visit you, how long do you think they staying? That's it. Like, that's the part that, like, I don't get. Like, they keep talking about this shit. Like, when the kids come and visit, they have work. They have shit that they're doing. So they come. How long do you think they stay in? Like a week, 2 weeks? That's on the outside, right? For you to, I'm gonna take 2 weeks of vacation off my job, go visit my parents. Okay, cool. But nobody is taking like several months. So if you're only filling that one spare bedroom, or you have a guest house and it's only occupied maybe, all year round with all your kids coming back, maybe you have a weekend, a hot week where it's like super busy in your house. The rest of the time, your house is stone empty. This purchase isn't about your kids. Be honest with yourself. That's where I'm at. Let's hit this next caller. Thank you so much, Brittany. Not Brittany. Gonna go to Macias.
Hi, James. Just wanted to comment on something that I noticed. I'm sure everyone else noticed too. I thought it was insane that Cody was standing there brushing Solomon's hair how old was Logan when he was getting all his children ready for school and this and that and the other? and now Cody wants to brush Solomon's hair. I think it was like completely performative. And then another thing that killed me was when Robin opened up that junk drawer. Oh my gosh, this woman doesn't work. She doesn't work. She doesn't do anything besides shop. Why can't she have that drawer organized? She is a hoarder. Her countertops are full of supplement bottles, walls covered in framed art. I mean, it's just crazy. It's really, really crazy. She spends so much money and she is just what? Messy? A hoarder? Unbelievable. She needs to declutter. She needs to declutter. The house looks awful. And I'm sorry, I don't usually walk into people's houses and think that, but just knowing, just not being able to have the cameras in our house for such a long time throughout the show, the little glimpses that we get, things like that stand out. Dirty, dirty junk drawers and countertops full of supplement pills.
Well, that's how Cody stay fit and trim. Well, because I think too, like the whole thing with the like let's call it like it is. We'll push them down and shove. Whether she work or she don't work, if you got a house that big, you need some help. Okay, 7,000 square feet, you need some help. Because if not, that's all you do all day is clean, vacuuming, and wiping stuff down, doing dishes. Like all of them have had instances where they had like dishes in the sink. So they're not crazy cleaners like that. And maybe that's unfair. Like, oh, you're house shaming them or whatever, saying they got a dirty house. Like I just look, when you are chasing that ghetto rich mentality where you want to have like all this big hi-fi stuff, that's how you end up broke. That's how you go broke, trying to keep up with the damn Joneses. Because if you go over to the Joneses house, the Joneses ain't making their bills either. Everybody broke. But everybody walking around trying to look pretty and fascinating and fashionable. But when you go to their bank account, they ain't got two nickels to rub together. And so that's part of like, to me, that's the crazy part about it. Like you guys, like I said, this is a tremendous opportunity for them. And the reality of this tremendous opportunity is that how long do you think this is really going to last? When you look at your previous predecessors, well, obviously it's previous because it was a predecessor, but when you look at your predecessors, like you look at Kate Gosselin or the other people who were on the show and they, their star was rising. They were always on the cover of like these big time magazines, not just like In Touch and shit like that, like the rags. I'm talking about like they're on the cover of like Time and Life and all this, and they're on the cover of these big magazines. Then all of a sudden the show ends. And when was the last time you heard from Kate Gosselin when she did Dancing with the Stars? You understand what I mean? Like once your show is over, because you're not a personality, you're not a commodity, right? That they can transfer. You're not a transferable commodity. You are a commodity as a person on a show, but you're not a transferable commodity. Like I said, my example last week, I still hold to that. Like with James Spader, he started out, he was like the arrogant asshole rich kid in movies, like whether it was I forget with Molly Ringwald and all them. He was one of the Brat Pack kids. And then when he got older, he did a TV show. He went from like that, the rich kid, snobby kid in movies, teenager kid, to like the adult. And then all of a sudden he was like the asshole boss, adult, rich, snobby guy there. Then he was Boston Legal. Then when that ended, he went to Practice, to Boston Legal, then to Blacklist. But he could change because he's an actor. He's a very good actor. So he could change. You guys can't change. Nobody is like, once people get tired of Cody Brown, you're done. Once people get tired of watching Robin, you're done. And what you have is what you have. There is no retirement plan or pension plan for reality stars. Like, this is how you gonna wind up like bagging groceries. Just saying. But Bojo Sunshine 75 said the guest house is the garage. They only truly have 4 bedrooms, since all four, all of Robin's 5 kids still live there, exactly where do they think they will make space for Truly? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to double some of the kids up and send the kids to college. Like none of the kids apparently want to move out, so I don't know what they're gonna do. I think the whole thing with him, the whole desire to see Truly or create a space for Truly is one, he's using Truly, much like with Garrison, use that as an excuse as to why you're buying the house. I'm buying a bigger house so I could bring Truly here. I'm selling this house because I was here when I got the phone call about my son's passing. That's why I'm selling the house. I'm not going to talk about the other 50 times that I moved previously, right? When I was bouncing all over Wyoming, Utah, and, the other surrounding states, Vegas, bouncing all over the place. I'm not going to talk about all those times when I moved. This time is different, right? Because I was planning on staying here forever. He was talking about moving before Robin lost her mind on him. So, like, it's just an excuse. The Truly thing might also be because he don't want to pay. He thinks that he can reduce his child support obligation if he has Truly more, which is not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a stupid thing that I know a lot of the manosphere guys kind of kick about, like a theory that they have. If you get, if you say you have the child more, they have to reduce your child support. They put it into a calculator. Unless you have significant time with your child, it's not even a question. Your numbers is going to stay the same. I mean, you might get like a $20 or $50 reduction, but it's not even going to, with the money that you're going to have to pay, it's not even going to make a difference. It's not even going, it's going to be negligible. And of course, you guys don't have like any significant, you can't say you have a significant time with her because she lives in a different state. And she's a teenager. If anything, your visits might be disruptive to her, which is always bad in family court. So, but next up, we got Sunny Bunny.
Hi, James. I was thinking recently about the shy wife, Robin, and I have two thoughts regarding that. And the first one is, I think both Robin and Cody are very aware of how the fans of the show look at them. And for Robin, I think she's seen as kind of a homewrecker. She came in and wrecked the entire family. So I think for her, this whole narrative of, you can't be mad at me. I'm the shy one. In this way of sort of infantilizing herself, so she doesn't appear to have much agency in the eyes of the public. I think she's trying to do that, and at the same time take a sort of example. I don't mean to make this political, but just go with me for a second. She's trying to take a page off of Trump's strategy of, if I repeat a lie often enough, it will become the truth in the minds of the people who listen to me. That's why every other episode, Cody's out here about his shy and pretty wife.
Okay, that turned off. She had a couple more messages, but to address that, I think that is the case. Like, I think that he's trying to reinforce that story that he has a shy, pretty wife who doesn't like to talk and isn't embarrassed, because it does a couple things. It removes her from the obligation of having to appear and make statements. It removes her from a lot of that responsibility. So he gets to play the whole game like, oh, my wife is so shy and she's pretty and she's scared and she doesn't want to talk. And oh, that's why she is the way she is. The problem, too, is simply this. You can build a narrative sometimes and you don't understand the fallout that you've created for yourself. And the caller actually goes through it. But before I get into it, let me give an acknowledgement to Jody Pierce Scholar with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that. But we have some good news. Off topic, my 10 lymphomas removed both sides of spine. Went well. Looking forward to the chat. So many friends here sent good vibes. Yeah, thank you so much, Jody, for keeping us involved with the removal of your issues with your your health stuff, and telling us about, especially about good news. We all love good news. Let's put some hearts in the chat. I see some hearts floating up already. Let's drop some hearts in the chat for Jody and her good news. That's amazing. Congratulations. We got a fighter in the house, y'all. We got a fighter. She's like, I will not go silently into that good night. So you tell Mr. C if he want my ass, bring lunch. Because all I know, what my man saying, Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper and that it was a They Live, I think was the title of the movie. I came here to chew gum, kick ass, and chew gum, and I'm fresh out of gum. So good on you, Jody. I'm happy for you. That's awesome news. Congratulations. Let's get some hearts in the chat before I see the hearts popping up. Thank you so much, Jody. So yeah, we get Sunny part 2.
And my second thought about this is that this kind of strategy works in her favor in terms of the patriarchal systems that she's surrounded by. And by patriarchal systems, I mean the faith that I feel is, pretty prevalent in the area. And, the faith that she has spent so many years trying to say that she was a part of, that she was, a devoted practitioner of, that she comes from a family that was like, so there's a history and legacy to it on the one hand. And on the other hand, the second quote unquote system of thought that's patriarchal is Cody's. Like you've mentioned, he's into that manosphere type thing. So this kind of let me make myself smaller, let me infantilize myself, let me look in front of other people as if I don't have agency, so that if something is wrong, it's never my fault. It's always the other person that's the fall guy. And that can be a double-edged sword for Cody if things go bad. So he better be careful about that shy wife.
Let's go right into our third message, because then I'll comment on both.
I guess what I'm saying is that for some of these systems, it's to their advantage to infantilize women that way, because then it's easier to strip them of rights, to strip them of agency and this kind of thing, because, women are these sensitive little creatures and they don't know much. Oh, like, what would they even do with all that freedom, So let me protect them, and under the guise of protection, decide for them and think for them and so on. The problem is now, in the long run, I don't know how much this show will go on for, but in terms of the relationship between these two, Cody and Robin, before you used to have a balance in the sense that even if you had, a lie from Cody, you would have 3 other people, right? The OG3 who would come in with a different perspective and counteract that narrative. But now, if it's just the 2 of them and Robin is constantly portrayed as the shy, obedient wife, if something were to go wrong and all of a sudden Robin files for divorce, accuses him of something, she's the shy little one. She's never at fault. You know what I mean? So he better be.
Oh, she cut off. But I agree. And I think that there's a couple points that we can look at. First part, with him telling the narrative over and over again that she's the shy, quiet wife, that does him some favors on a couple levels. One, it puts him in a situation where he explains that this is what I want from my partner. Now, when I did my video about him applying for the manosphere, and I think Linda addresses it a little bit, and I want to get some clarification. I think I'll do it when I respond to her speak pipe. But when I say that he's doing the manosphere, he's referenced the manosphere several times throughout the show. Like he's given like the little indicators, like the dog whistles, if you will. If you're familiar with their content and things that they say, he's used a lot of their terminology, phrasing, and even some of their descriptions to talk about these ladies. When he was going against Janelle, as a for instance, he called her independent and modern. Those aren't compliments. Those aren't things that, it's a good thing I have a strong, independent woman who's financially stable and she's able to take care of herself because she's so independent. They see that as a negative, a net negative. It's not even a negative. It's unnatural as far as they're concerned. So when I say that he's propagating the idea that she's a shy, quiet wife, that's him as a manosphere person saying that Robin is the ideal wife. These other women failed as wives. That's why they're no longer around. That's why I chose not to spend my time with them, because they didn't understand the natural order of things. This is how they describe it. The thing is, too, when he does that description, it all plays into a lot of the environments, the institutions that they were a part of, like being a part of the religion and faith that they were a part of, that which is a patriarchal system. That plays into it too. Men are strong, women are weaker. It's not that women shouldn't choose to do it. In their view, women aren't capable of making decisions for themselves. So in order for you to be a part of this family, you have to abdicate your own personal responsibility and autonomy to a man, because he's going to make better decisions for you that you can't make for yourself. I disagree with this, but that's, I think, where it comes from. And that's why I think he's pushing this so hard. And I think that's also the lever that she used in order to get in good with him, because that's who she played herself out to be. Oh, I bow down to the strength and commanding power in nature of my leader, my husband, my boss, Cody Brown. That's why he gets along with her. Because whereas these other women, when you've seen a man broke and you paying the bills, it's hard for you to be like, oh, I'm going to turn it over to the boss, when, you got to pay the cost to be the boss player. And so if they bringing home the bacon and they frying it up in the pan, they don't need a damn man. And so they're approaching it from that respect, because they're more of an even playing ground, because they knew Cody when they were broke. And they were all contributing to their life and lifestyle. Whereas Cody is pretending to be that man because he was using the money and funds from the other wives that they were getting from the show. And he was able to provide a life and lifestyle to Robin, where she got to pretend that she was a housewife and staying at home and didn't have to work, didn't have responsibilities. Her only responsibility was making her man happy. So she benefited from that. Now, with regard to her, and where it's bad, like I said, it's bad because you put yourself in a situation where it's a lot easier. This is where I think she might actually miss the OG3, because it's a lot easier to do that shit one night a week. It's easier to cosplay a trad wife one night a week, as opposed to every night this dude come home, you got to put on the apron, go in there, spend an hour and a half making your face up so that you could wake up in the morning and make this dude breakfast, this asshole breakfast. And then you got to keep yourself pretty all day while you do housework, unrelenting housework. So it's not fun when you have to do it full time. The other part that I don't think Cody really recognizes, you keep telling everybody that she's a shy, quiet wife. The only thing you're doing is making her more attractive to the people in the AUB, because she's coming back with money, resources, and everything else, right? And if she divorces you, what is she constantly saying? I want to be a polygamist. All my life, I want to be a polygamist. If I knew you was going to be a monogamist with me, I would have passed you by, because I want to be a polygamist. She's setting herself up to go back to be basically put back into the matrix. She's trying to get reintegrated into the matrix, back into the matrix. So she keeps talking about how she's a polygamist. That's all she wants out of life, the only romantic relationship she wants to have, and how she's a quiet, submissive wife, which is ideal for these guys who want to have these polygamous relationships. So he thinks that he's propping himself up by saying my quiet, pretty, shy wife. He doesn't understand, dude. You out there putting the advertisement flag open for business on your wife's ass because these dudes are looking for her. These guys are looking for it. Now, every everyday guys who watch the show, if they have any common sense, they probably like, nah, hard pass on Robin. But there are guys in the AUB who would love to get with that. Like, don't play it short. You know what I mean? There's guys who, oh, she quiet and shy. Plus, she gonna bring some sister wife money into the family. So this has a crazy way that it potentially could backfire like a crazy person. This could backfire bad. But next up, we got Janet. Janet, what you got to say?
Hey James, it's Janet. I haven't been feeling very well since watching The Last Sister Wives, and I was trying to remember like what it was that was really unsettling, something that happened in it, and then I was like, oh right, it's when Robin calls Cody daddy. Um, First of all, diabolical, disgusting. These fucking ugh, like there's no way these people don't realize that like we don't want to hear about their gross love. And just when Cody's telling her, like, oh, it's, when mommy's happy about, like, the house they're going to pick out, like, basically saying, like, making sure Robin's happy. Hey, how about your kids? How about making sure, like, and don't try to put it on your kids, and that's why you're getting an expensive house, because that's not why. But anyway, just when, like, he's like, mommy has to be happy, and then Robin, like, chuckles to herself and is like, daddy needs to, too. I was just like, wow, this is really gross. Like, I don't know about you, but yikes. Are you trying to make people hate you more? Because, uh, anyway, what do you think?
Well, here's what I think, Janet. I think you're right. I don't think anybody's really trying to watch the creepy love episode of like Who's Your Daddy? Like, you know. It's so weird for me. Like, who's your daddy? Who's I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think that whole thing, like the idea of like this love story, this epic love story, nobody gives a shit. Like I don't want to be that guy. Like I feel like I'm being like I might be coming off hateful. I'm not. I just don't care. Like I don't care enough to be hateful. You understand what I mean? Like I just don't care to see like their love story. It's to me, it's not interesting. Like watching Cody and Robin's love story is not interesting to me because of the fact there's no there's no stakes. I've said this before. There's no stakes in their love, right? It's it's as old as time. Like a guy's married, has a wife at home, been with her for years, has a whole family. He finds somebody who's significantly younger than his wife, and in this case, it just happens to be multiple wives, but or women that he's involved with. He finds somebody younger, and he runs off with that person. And for some reason, oh no, it's amazing. This is my lover. This is the person who is my soulmate. This is the person who was made for me in heaven. Like, no. This is what happens every time. Like when people start messing around on their wives and shit, or they messing around on their significant other, their husband. All of a sudden, the person they messing with, all of a sudden answers all their prayers, checks all the boxes. Are you serious? No, they don't check all the boxes. The problem is that 9 times out of 10, and this is something that I genuinely mean, 9 times out of 10, when you are out there and you run in them streets and you find a new person that you want to spend your time with, all it is that they're just not doing the thing that your current person is doing is getting on your nerves. They're just not doing that. What you don't realize is that they got a whole heap of shit that they do that will get on your nerves. And so you just got to adjust to the new stuff that's going to annoy the hell out you, right? And the crazy part and where it gets kind of twisted is that in some cases, you realize by the time you realize that the thing that this new person does to get on your nerves is way worse than what the other thing was. Right. 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 Maybe your wife, oh, she don't ever get dressed up. Like she been wearing the same outfits for like 5-10 years. She got shoes in there older than some of my kids. Like she is so thrifty. This young lady, she is so special because she is so on point. She's so fashionable, right? You leave your wife, you go off with the new woman who's so fashionable, but what you don't recognize is with your wife, you were pissed off because she was wearing like maybe older clothes or she wasn't throw like her shit away when it's like a couple seasons out. But this new one, every time you turn around, she got a bag in her hand. You can't keep a credit card in your name in the house because if you have any money, she will find it. She's the woman who will be sitting on your couch, digging in your couch cushions, looking for change because she has to spend money. Like that's her thing. Like I just want to spend money. I don't care what it's on. I don't care what I'm buying. I'll just take 3 of them. Right? That's her problem. And now all of a sudden you want your first wife back. See, because you thought that you could just go 1 for 1. Like I'll just trade her and get a newer version that does the same thing, but it doesn't. Right? They ain't gonna love you the same. So that the story that Cody and Robin are telling is a story that is old as time. Like I said, and there's really no interest in it for me to see it. And then for them to like part of like the tell me about it, daddy, and like a little nicknames. I don't care. I don't care about your nicknames because I don't care about your love. I'm not offended by your love. You understand what I mean? Like if you were going to do these women dirty, I'm of the mind, to be honest with you, as sad and as terrible as it is, at the end of the day, they're probably better off without you because you didn't become a new person. You just showed them who you were. And like these women's lives have drastically improved since you've left. Maybe they're not getting their tires rotated like they want. If you understand what I'm saying, they ain't getting a knock. You know, they engine got a little knock in it, right? Trying to get that knock loose. But at the end of the day, they're moving forward their lives. They're chasing their goals, their dreams, their hopes. They're not putting themselves aside for a man, especially a man who doesn't appreciate the sacrifices they make. So I mean, there's that too, which also doesn't really give me a whole lot of reason as to why I want to watch. You know, why would I want to watch the guy who wanted these women to put their lives on hold so that they could glorify him? Like, no interest in it. Just no interest in it. But let's take a listen. Wait, let me we had some super chats come in. We had a unlimited lipstick with a $2.79 super chat. Love story from hell. Yeah. Yeah, right. Love story from hell. Oh yeah, I didn't give Jody Periscala a little something. Let me give unlimited lipstick a little something. Hold on 1 second. Then of course we're gonna go with Raspberry with the $5 super chat. Hi James in chat. Cody's courtship with Robin thrived while cameras were rolling. Guaranteed it will be much more modest without an audience. Yeah, right. Cody thought he was getting rejected now. Miss, how you reject a husband's affections? Oh, he's always trying to grip and grab at me in front of the children. I'm like, whoa, I don't feel comfortable. What happened? What happened? All of a sudden, it's not advantageous for you to be that way. She said that she wanted, remember, there was a time when they went to San Francisco, Robin was sitting there saying that she wanted to kiss and hug and smooch in front of the wives. Now, all of a sudden, she have a problem with Cody showing physical touch. And this is the weird part where they can't get their story straight. They say one thing in one season, next season they change their mind. Not even change their mind. They just tell an opposite story. And then they tell us that they've always felt that way. But clearly not, because I have the tape and footage. I can pull the footage up if you like, you know. But I think that's most of their relationships. To be honest with you, I think Cody's relationship with the other three wives thrived while the cameras were rolling. But when they weren't trying to be on screen together, he wasn't trying to spend any time with them. That was part of the problem. That's why they wound up having to leave. All right, but let me give you a little something, something. And before I get too far along, let me go back because I didn't give Jodie Perez-Scott. Like I was so excited about her good news. I I didn't give her a little something, something for the super chat as well as the good news. Here you go. Because I want to recognize her good news. Got so excited. I was like, "Yay!" Forgot to drop the celebration. All right, but the next person that we have, let me go to my thing. We have the next person is Ann.
Hi, James. This is Ann. Just wanted to give my quick take on Sister Wives. One, I find it interesting that Robin kept stating our kids when she was talking about the kids that she birthed and your kids when talking to Cody about the OG 13. When she was so big on initially, that's what they were stating. Oh, she was all big on the one family and sister wives, and last season we saw her supposedly sleeping on the floor in McKelty's closet, calling those kids her grandkids and McKelty her daughter. But now for something that changed, we didn't even see her give commentary when McKelty stated that her and Cody didn't come see her and Tony before they moved to North Carolina. No, Cody gave a BS excuse. And I thought it was interesting that Mary did the same thing during her speed dating. She announced when she was talking to Ron, oh, she only has dogs. She didn't say anything about the OG, all of the kids, any of the grandkids. And I would say Mary's segment is very boring as well. Mary is a single woman with no kids in the home. Her and Jen can be out here being Thelma and Louise in their segments, or her other girlfriends. They could be doing some adventurous things, showing us around Utah and that area of the country. But she comes off as very boring. So I hope her segments pick up as well.
All right, and we're going to go right to. She left the second message, so we'll go right to the second message. Awesome.
Hi, James. This is Ann again. I just had a part two to my commentary. I would say I find it interesting that Cody's tune changed with giving Coyote Pass the equal share to Janelle and Mary once they mentioned to him that they had lawyers. And I hope that Mary and Janelle, since Janelle wants to be so nonchalant and just kind of let little things come out, let it all out the bag. Keep reminding the audience that Robin and Cody still owe Mary and Janelle the down payment they put into that home that they have yet to get back or even talk about. Let it all out, Janelle. And I hope that Janelle is comforting Maddie, because watching that first episode, Maddie is taking it hard. Well, at least at that time, taking it hard that her and Cody do not have a good relationship. So I hope that Janelle is genuinely comforting her. We see first episode Maddie, second episode McKelty talks about their relationship not being good. This is not going good for Cody's redemption tour if he's going to have a different child in every episode talk about how they don't have a good relationship, and he gives an excuse that it makes absolutely no sense. And why isn't Robin reaching out to the kids to break the ice and see what she can do to make the relationship between either Cody better or the relationship that she has with them better? But she won't do that either. Thank you. And that's all that I have.
Awesome take. All right. Well, first up, let's run it in order. First things first, I agree. Like at the end of the day, I think that Mary is missing her opportunity because she's trying to be like, I feel like Mary's been on this show, and it's just my critique of the character who is on the show. Not Mary as a person per se, but as a character on this show. She's been on this show, but for all her time on the show, Mary has remained a supporting character. Mary hasn't really had her own stories on the show. she's always either commented on something that was going on with somebody else, or she was involved with some issue or problem that was dealing with someone else, or if the issue or problem was dealing with her, it was given very little light. Like the only thing that really kind of stuck out with Mary over the 15 seasons that this show has been on is actually 3 occasions. Well, 4, if we give her a bonus 1. The first would be when uh what's the name was when I guess the house, when she was trying to get the bar, they turned that into a thing. That was like a half a episode. Then they had the divorce, obviously. There was 2. Then the catfish thing, which was a big 3. And of course, Cody repeatedly telling her that I don't want you around. But that again, that's not necessarily dealing with her as much as that's dealing with him and how he feels about her. And it's not driven by her, solely by her. So the whole time she hasn't had a chance to develop herself on the show as a actual independent character. So therefore, what we're watching her trying to do is find her North Star as to who her character should be on the show and how she should be presented. She wants to be the silly person, but she also wants to be the serious person. She wants to be like Christine in the fact that she could joke around and play around, but she tells awkward jokes. Like, you're not that person. Like, so I still feel like she's trying to find herself, but it's still season 20, still trying to find herself on the show. With regard to Robin and Cody, like their love story, like I've said before, is dry as hell. Christine and like even with Janelle's story is interesting with Maddie. I hope that like I would like to see a little more of that dynamic between Janelle and Maddie. I think that they might have something there. Christine and David, it seems okay, but I agree with previous callers who said that they probably should get off the show, because if they stay on this show longer, they will wind up getting destroyed. Like will destroy their marriage, without a doubt. We'll destroy their marriage. No, we're super strong. We're strong together. We can hold out for anything. I'm telling you, we will destroy your marriage, and we'll do it with the best of intentions. And unfortunately, that's just kind of how it works out. You know what I mean? I'm including myself in that, because if I make commentary on it, it could do damage to your relationship, and I recognize that. You know, that's why I don't really rail on either one of them too hard, because of the fact that I know it can do damage. But that's just like, you guys are putting yourselves in that position if you continue to do the show. So it's your fault if this happens, because I'm warning you, this is what's going to happen. If you love your wife, don't do a show with her. Right. It's simple as that. If you love your wife, you love your life, you love your wife, don't do the show with her. Yeah, but pretty much everything Ann said, I don't have an issue with it. I think that she's right on point. I think she makes some excellent points. Let me check this real quick. Love story from hell. Oh, we have another super chat. Miami for 88. Miami 88. $5 super chat. Longtime viewer, but I have been in the chat last live, and this one, James, everyone here has been so awesome, kind, and respectful. I love it here. Thank you. We love having you here. And no shade, no, not bragging, but this is the best chat hands down on YouTube. Gotta tell you. And it's not me, it's the chat. The chat is amazing. So I'm very fortunate that folks have found a community and chose to join the community and spend time with us. So I'm very appreciative of that fact. Wish I could take all the credit, but can't, because it wouldn't be fair, nor would it be right. Because a lot of the folks who come, who've been drawn into the community or hang out with the community, are very positive people, and we like to support each other here on the channel and encourage each other. And I think that that's an important thing, especially, as we talk about like the foolishness of these strangers and people we don't know. It is always nice to reflect on how we can help one another. And even in talking about some of the issues and things that we see in Sister Wives, in a Brown family or any other reality show, how can we apply it to our lives and how can we move forward? either to help ourselves or to help somebody else who may be going through, not necessarily like with polygamy where you got 4 wives and 3 wives and a young mistress, but in situations where you might feel unappreciated, unappreciated, where you feel like you're being taken for granted, where you feel like your partner is taking advantage of you, whether it's financially, physically, whatever the case may be, they're taking advantage of you. And you have to find a space where you feel comfortable to, one, recognize that this isn't how this should be going. It's not right. It's not fair. This isn't how it's supposed to work. And hopefully find a way for you to be able to get yourself in a position where you can be where you want to be so that you can make the most out of your life. We only get one ride on this rock. So you might as well make the most of it. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. Let's save it all for heaven, right? Heaven got enough angels. We can try to, it's our duty and our responsibility to try to make this ride as good as we can. And not only for ourselves, but for people around us and people that we might be able to touch or influence or come in contact with. If we can make their situation better, then it makes our situation better. It's not all, altruistic. Some of it's selfish because I would like the world to work a lot better. And from the religious aspect, I've said it before, I want everybody to go to heaven because I'm trying to get in. I might need a break. They look through my records. They might be like, James, I don't know, buddy. Oh, man, I thought we was giving out breaks up in here. I might need that break. So, well, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me get a little something. Yeah, but you know how I go. For real, James, this is what we doing. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll be tripping. All right, we got Mary up next.
Hey, James, this is Mary. Hey, Cody is that POS father that he's not going to give any children any more than he got as a father. He's not trying to improve the situation. He's going to treat them how he was treated. So if he had a crap childhood, they can deal with it. They don't get one more toy. They don't get nothing more than what he got as a child. And he is going to run that till the day he dies. With Robin, she is the patriarch and the matriarch of this family. Nothing happens in that house without running it by Robin. Cody has lost the man card. He's now deferring to Robin because he can't tell a 13-year-old to not put a phone in his pocket. Robin has to do it. She has made him tell her, and she will talk to them. He must have been so inappropriate with these children that now he has to tell her, and she tells her children what they should and shouldn't do. This has gone way beyond wild. But we see you, Robin. We see what you are. We know what you both are about. And man, I still can't get over your lying, and I still can't get over you stealing money. And that's going to be your legacy. Anyway, James, tell me what you think. Bye.
Well, you know what? I don't disagree. Here's what I think. I think that the first part of it's spot on. I think that when you grow up in a way, like how many times have when I was a kid, it was different, and these dang old whippersnappers, these young folks is out of control. Like, we have to recognize that just as it was when we were younger, these kids are inheriting a different world. Like, I also ascribe to the fact that there's nothing new that happens under the sun. I think that, like, rudimentarily, people are who they are, and people will do what people do. Motivations haven't changed, ambitions haven't changed. The only thing that's really changed is technology and the ease in which people are, they have access to things, right? Things are a lot more readily available than they were when we were coming up or when I was coming up. I won't put you guys in my group, right? When the dinosaurs roamed the earth. But when it comes down to it, I would also say that it's ridiculous. And I'm gonna be blunt about it. It's ridiculous if you're a parent and you grew up under certain circumstances and you say, I want my kids to grow up exactly as I grew up because I turned out okay. You turned out okay, maybe because of who you are, maybe just a stroke of fate that you don't recognize now, or just the fact that it was a different world then, right? And what I don't want my kids to be like me. And this is my perspective. I don't want my kids to be like me. I don't want my kids to do the things I've done. I want my kids to be better than me. I want my kids to pursue their hopes and their dreams, their aspirations earlier than I decided to start trying to pursue mine. I want my kids to I want them to hit the ground running. I don't want them to have to get a warm up and try a bunch of stuff and figure things out. I want them to have the best life they can have. And if I can provide that with my experience or the things that I've been through, and I can give them that leg up so that they can take the ball or the baton that I have and take it further than I took it, then that would be a success. That would be successful to me, right? If I grew up and I ate nothing but peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I want my kids to have, at least get ham. And then I want their kids to at least get steak, right? Where each generation we improve upon one another. We get better, we get stronger, we get faster, we get smarter. Not we stay the same. Okay? I don't want if we all stay the same and we're all in the same situation, then somebody messed up. That's the way I see it. And so him denying his kids because this is what he has, like I can see that. I can see that, and him making the excuse that, well, I did this and I left the house when I was 12 years old, and when I had a full-time job by the time I was 16, I had 3 wives by the time I was 18, right? That's great for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But certainly if you can look back and say things were hard for me and my dad wasn't the kind of dad I appreciate, and it was hard growing up with him, right? Then why would you put that on your kids? Why would you become the dad that's hard to be around? The dad who's difficult, the dad who's always criticizing. You know how much it hurts. Why would you impose that on somebody else? That's actually the story arc of a villain, right? Just real quick, I used to do a thing where I talk about like the story arc, the difference between a villain and a hero. Typically, the villain and the hero for most stories have very similar, if not identical, origin stories. The only real difference is the hero, when they undergo whatever trauma or experience they have, they look at it and say, I'm going to create a scenario or an environment where this never happens to anybody else. Nobody is going to have to go through the pain and suffering I went through. The villain takes the other tact and say, I went through this, everybody gets it. I suffered, everybody's suffering. Right? That's the only real difference between like the hero and villain in most story arcs. And in this case, it seems as though Cody's taking the villain arc. When it comes to Cody bowing down to Robin, I think that he does. It's kind of, until Mary mentioned it, it is a little disconcerting because it looks like Cody is deferring. On one hand, you could argue that Cody is deferring responsibility and discipline to Robin when it comes to the kids because he doesn't want to be involved. That could be one part of it. The other part of it is based on what she said in season 19, that he had a quote unquote murder face when he would talk to the kids, and sometimes he comes off super harsh when he talks to the kids. Is it possible? And this is me asking the question, is it possible that he said or did something to these children to make Robin say to him, you don't need to talk to my kids anymore? Because even with her description in season 18, after Christina left, she said it was hard being around Cody. Cody was being nasty. He was being evil. He was being mean, and the full intention of it was to make it sound like he was being mean to Robin, but there were kids in the house too. So was he being mean to those kids? And as a result of that, even with Mary's thing, where my question comes from, was he saying something or doing something to those kids where Robin drew the line and said, look, if you say one more damn thing to my children, I will pack me and the kids up. And here's the thing, bro. You think Christine is fucking your pockets up with child support? Try paying child support for not one, but 2 children and paying alimony on top of me taking half the shit. So I'm going to take half the money right off the top because I think Arizona is a no-fault divorce state. So technically, no matter what he does, like they're not going to say, oh, he cheated or he did this or that. She's going to get all the money. But if they divide it like half and half, because all the shit that he has, technically he's acquired after they were married. That's also another smart thing that she's doing. That Robin's no fool. You understand? Because if you have a house, say I purchased a house before I got married, it's my house. If I get divorced, unless I can establish that some of the marital funds or assets were going for the care, upkeep, or paying taxes or something towards that property, your wife has 0 claims on that house. That's your house. If you have a house like Cody and Robin, living in Vegas, he has a house with Mary, then he puts his name on Robin's house and they get divorced. They can't touch Mary's house. Any money or proceeds that comes from Mary's house, she can't touch that unless he paid, like I said, use marital assets to support it. Can't touch it. But he could take half of her house in Vegas. They sell that house, all these houses. They buy the house in Arizona. Then they buy this new house, right? 2.1 shit show chateau. They sell the McMansion, buy the shit show chateau. That's 100% marital assets. So at minimum, she would get half the house. There's a possibility, though, she might get the house because she has 2 kids, 2 minor children that she has to take care of, plus the other children that he adopted still live in the house. So there's a possibility she would get the house anyway and still have to give him half, like you still have to give her half his damn money. Then on top of that, you got to pay alimony. Then on top of that, you got to pay child support. So the 50-50 is not 50-50. Homeboy could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. I did see a wascoey wabbit. I'm telling you, my man might like Robin is not a dumb person. Like you can say whatever you want to say about her, but too much shit has gone down to make me think that she just accidentally, perhaps perchance, fell backwards into this good situation. She might be the quiet, innocent, pretty wife, but she's also not the dumb wife. Okay? She's not the dumb one. So take that for what it is. But we got another one from Mary.
Hey, James, this is Mary. Hey, I just want to talk about Mary speed dating. I just think she came into this with the really wrong mindset. Believe it or not, her and Cody are so much alike. They're just beauty deep, skin deep. That's all they see. There's nothing wrong with a man at 5'10" that's very nice and treats people very nice. Mary doesn't need a 6-foot man. Cody does not need a diamond, beautiful, drop dead, gorgeous model type person. But anyway, about Mary, the speed dating, I think, went really well. She should have marked every person on that card to have a date with. There's nothing wrong with talking to these people off camera for an hour. She needs to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and have a coffee. She could have easily sat down with each of them for less than an hour and got to know them better. They're nervous because they're on camera. So the person that gave the one word answers, he's super nervous. She's been on camera for 20 years, 15 years, whatever. The guy that was only 37 might have been a great choice for Mary. Mary, if you feel like you're only 42, somebody that's 37 would have been a great choice for you. But her taking that home was just an awful diss at anyone. I don't know if she thought there was going to be a whole bunch of George Clooney's coming out and she was going to have her pick of the litter or something. It was just crazy. And if you worthied up, you would have known that people are more than skin deep. What do you think, James?
Ouch. That's what I think. Ouch. Way to use her little slogan against. Oh, you only supposed to worthy up if you over 6 feet tall. Oh, oops. I agree. Look, when it comes down to it, I'm going to be frank. Dating in and of itself, is difficult. It's difficult. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, you hit 50, it starts getting hard. No, I'm talking about, look, when you 20, maybe folks forgot. But when you were 20 and you were trying to find people, you might have had a lot of people that were interested in you and want people that wanted to talk to you. But of those people, how many of those people were marriage material, were lifetime commitment material, right? I When I was young, you run across a lot of different folks. You understand what I mean? Some women will look at you like, even as a guy, some women will look at you and be like, that guy is, he's a marriage material. That's the guy that you want to be the father of your children. That guy is a good time going out. That guy over there, yep, recreational use only. Like, that guy is not the one that you want to, like, you don't even want to trust him with the bill. Like, you don't get, like, when they get the bar tab in, or you go to a restaurant, they give you the bill, the tab, you don't want to give him your money. No, no, no. No. You give me the money and I'll turn the money over. Because this dude's just terrible with money. But he's fun, right? Not everybody is that way. What you're looking for when you're dating somebody, very simplistically, you're trying to find a individual who is available, the right person, the right person first, available at the time and in a mental condition or emotional state where they are accessible to you in a relationship. Hard enough to do when you're in your 20s and there's plenty of people around. When you start hitting your 30s and 40s, people start pairing off. People get married. And so even if they're perfect for you, they might be in a terrible marriage, but they're still married. Or they might not, or they might have just got out of a bad marriage or a bad relationship trying to put themselves together financially, or they might be trying to get themselves together emotionally, or they might not be physically attractive. Because let's be honest, when you get into a relationship and you start getting, they say you get comfortable, but the truth of the matter is you might get busy. When you start having shit going on, you don't have 4 or 5 hours to go hang out at the gym. You can't get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, come home, go to work, then wake up from a nap, then go back to the gym for round two because you're doing 2-a-days. Because it's cut season, because you're about to hit the summertime and you got to have that beach body with the washerboard abs and the big barrel chest so you can rock it. You know what I mean? The thighs for the guys and the lats for the lats so you can get that back. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That booty on duty. Like, you don't have that time. So when you get older, and as Mary was pointing out, you hit 50 years old, you just trying to find somebody who ain't crazy. They single, they ain't got a whole lot of drama with them. You're not going to find a 50-year-old virgin or a 50-year-old person who hasn't had kids or been married or in a relationship. It's very difficult for you to find that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it'd be very difficult for you to find that. Or somebody who's never been tainted by the bad relationship. Not at 50. You know what I mean? You're going to have to deal with shit. It always amused me when Cody was in his 40s talking about he didn't want to date somebody who had children. Then you don't want to date. What are you talking about? I thought it was disgusting that a woman had children. What? You 50 years old. You 40 some odd years old when you met Robin. I think he was like 40 years old, in his mid 40s. Any woman that you're really considering to talk to who's going to be age appropriate is going to have children, most likely. Or at least been married. If she doesn't have kids. Sorry, bro. Sorry. It's just things that you have to accept. And I'm not saying you have to settle, but at the same time, I mean, you have to set some realistic expectations. Like, don't go there expecting George Clooney. Just like, if I was to show up to that same event, I wouldn't walk in there and be like, oh yeah, I expect to see nothing but like Selma Hayek's, Janet Jackson's. Because if any of them was actually there, they wouldn't be talking to my ass. Right? I don't give a shit how friendly I am. And it's also funny because, like as Mary said, that you have somebody who has a business whose whole business mantra is to worthy up and to be that person that you deserve to be. But then you go look at somebody else and say, yeah, you're not the one. I'm looking down on you. That's terrible. So it's just a bad look all the way around. But we had a couple more from Mary. Let's check it out.
Hi, James. Sorry, this is part 2. Also, the person that the gentleman that made the remark about he was married to 2 women at the same time. Mary, that's a cute little joke that he's telling you that he's into monogamy. It's not a bad little thing for him to say. He wasn't doing a dig at your family. Why would you take it that way? It's just insane. He's just trying to tell you that he's into monogamy in his way. Yeah, he was probably nervous too, but it's not like Mary hasn't made jokes on air about her own family. We don't go weird like that, you know. No, they only have a relationship with Cody. So Mary's made her own jokes about it, but I guess that's all okay. No one else can. And I don't know. I guess she's forgetting she lives in Utah where there is a whole bunch of those people, and there's probably a whole bunch of funny ones. You know, she has probably second cousins like Ben, who's a comedian about it. So, yes, there are people that are funny. Again, I don't think Mary is all that funny. Her and Jen have about the same mentality as Cody. Their jokes are on the same level. Yes, you are lighthearted and laugh and having fun. That's terrific. But, calling yourself funny is just another thing. But only my opinion. What do you think, James?
Well, I agree. I think that it's so weird when you say that I'm funny. I'm funny. When you have to tell people you probably aren't funny, just so we're clear. Because people, like, I've had funny ass friends, right? I had a one guy who could tell a story. Like, he had all kinds of shit that was just happening to him. We were in high school together. He had so much stuff happening to him. He tell a story, and you think that you would literally pass out because you can't breathe because he would tell these stories, And I would never have to go to him and be like, dude, you are funny. That dude was just fun. Like, he was funny. He was just funny. In fact, sometimes what made it kind of crazy was some of the stuff, I think he was serious about it, but he wasn't trying to be funny. It was just funny as hell, right? And those are a lot of times the best funny. But when it comes down to it, I agree with the observation that she gets upset about him cracking the jokes. Like, one, that's a joke. I've heard that joke before. It's a canned joke. It's a, I've been married twice, but never at the same time. Ha ha ha. It's not hilarious. It's something to say. Like I said, it's a canned joke. It's almost like a knock knock joke. That's what I call canned jokes. It's like a knock knock joke. At the same time, he lives in Utah, where polygamy is a thing. And the concerns for polygamy is a thing. So I can see him cracking that joke, especially in Utah, where it would be most relevant. Plus, they're in a church. So I'm assuming that the church is probably, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that the church might be related to the Mormon faith in some way, somehow. So there's a possibility that he's sitting in a Mormon church cracking a polygamy joke, a polyg joke. And you guys have been cracking polyg jokes the whole time. Right? The whole time you've been cracking polygamy jokes. But James, is different when you in polygamy, you crack jokes. That might be true. But I've heard Jen crack polygamy jokes. I've heard the other friends who get together who are not polygamists crack jokes about polygamy. And it wasn't a source of insult and vitriol because they made the observation. It's not that deep. It is what it is. And if you don't have a sense of humor about what you've done, like, I can see if he said, those people are going to hell. What about those damn polygs? Oh my goodness. You can't incest much? I can see you being insulted by that. Because then he's talking about your kids. Like, them kids all got something wrong with them growing up with 4 baby mamas. Like, that's crazy. I can see you being insulted by that because that's talking about people who are near and dear to your heart. But it's just like that. I just didn't really see, And plus, as we famously always say, like, Gen Xers, we always say that, we don't get offended easily. That offended you? That's what offended you? Really? And you're funny? Really? Okay. That does not feel Gen X-y to me. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Next up, we got let's go Mary again. Mary's got another one.
Hey, James. Hey, just want to talk about Christine. I know that was kind of a hole move on her part to say that about Tony, but I I don't know how she doesn't understand this, especially when she decides to divorce. She decides to move to Utah. In less than 6 months, she's dating, she's married. Tony and McKelty want to do one thing and make a move, and she can't even accept one of the out of the 5 things that she's done in the last, less than 2 years, yet they only want to do a move. I don't think Christine understands that Tony McKelty can't be themselves living this close to all of the stuff going on. They want to get out of the chaos. They want to go to a new state, start over. Tony is going to grow his career. Yes, it might not be great right now, but he hasn't made the move yet. Let him get to the chess capital and see what he can figure out there. I don't know why she doesn't see this, but again, I think she's kind of in Cody's mentality. It's a FOMO, fear of missing out or something, or she has a fear that she's not popular anymore with the kids, but everybody moves on. I mean, even though she's out of this polygamy stuff, I think she has a lot of healing to do, and she'd see that. And again, just visit with them, and I'm sure she's going to pick up with McKelty right where she dropped off on any next visit, and there's always FaceTime every day. But anyway, tell me what you think.
I want to focus on something you had mentioned, Mary, and that's the idea that, like when I was talking earlier and I was saying that, one of the things I hope my kids do is take the baton and move forward, right? And figure out what they want to do early. One of the things that I try to encourage my kids to do is find what you're happy with doing and chase it down, especially when you're younger. Especially when you're younger and you don't have a whole lot of responsibilities. You don't have the burden of being like you're tied to something. Now, in Tony's case, they have children and he has a wife and they do have responsibilities. But if he's going to actually chase his career and the thing that can make him happy, and he has an opportunity to do it, chase it, do it, get it out the way, so that way you don't go move through life with anger and resentment towards your wife, towards your kids, because you see them as an obstacle. You know what I mean? Because everybody, there's a thing where when people talk about your reason why, right? Why do you show up? Why do you go to the gym in the morning? Why do you go to school, keep going to school when it gets difficult, it's hard, you're taking tests and maybe you're not doing as well as you were hoping. What keeps you coming back day after day when shit gets hard, it gets rough? Because the motivation only works temporarily. Motivation is a temporary emotion which will get you started, right? What keeps you coming back? And what keeps you coming back through the hard times, the difficult times, through the struggle and through the grind is your reason. What is your reason why? Why are you showing up? And you could look at, I'm going to chase this dream and I won't pursue it because I don't want my kids to suffer, or I want to be able to provide, safety and security for my kids. The first thing is there is no such thing as safety and security. You can work a job for 50 years. I worked for a company that was 150 some odd years old, right? A corporation, 150 years old. And we were acquired. Right. And I remember standing there while like I got they kept me, held me over. They wouldn't let me go, but they let a bunch of people go who had been there. Like I'm talking about people who had been there for generations, like people who were working there. Their parents worked there. They were working there, started working there as kids, like 18 years old or so. In some cases, 16, summer jobs, 18 years old. They move in. By the time they hit, they meet their significant other, their wives at the job, have families at the job. Their kids start working there. And prospectively, they expect their grandkids to start working there, like that old. And then when that place gets closed down, that job was supposed to be safe and secure because it's so old. They were doing really well, but they were doing so well. Somebody looked at them and said, let's get it. Let's take it. And that's what they did. So there is no security. So when we take that off the table, why are you not chasing your dreams down? Why are you not chasing down the things that make you happy? And then the ironic part for me is that as parents and adults, we try to do the responsible thing and work the job that's safe and secure. And then we have the audacity to turn around and tell our kids that they should do things that make them happy. You need to chase your dreams. How are you going to teach your kids how to chase their dreams when you refuse to chase your own? That's the first part. The second part is that now is the time. If Tony has an opportunity to do it, don't let him go to the grave wondering what if I would have did this? What if I would have, instead of me just hanging out with Christine and David and making their lives better, what if I would have chased my dreams and made my life better so that I can look at my kids and give my kids the kind of life that would make them happy? And so if that's what he needs to do, I know it hurt Christine that they were moving and they were taking advantage of that opportunity, but that's something that you want them to do that. Especially if they have stuff that they can fall back on. It's not like she's moving out there and she's giving up her job. Whatever they doing, he's coaching chess online. He's just putting himself in a better position where he's able to coach chess and expand his business. Let him do that. And instead of looking down on it, encourage it. Maybe it's not your dream. And I used to say that all the time, especially when it comes to pursuing things like your dreams or aspirations. You got to understand that when you get that message on your heart, whether it's if you're a religious person, God sends you that email, or your heart or your destiny is calling, you got to recognize that your friends and family may not be CC'd on that email. They might not get the call. They might not be, they don't know that this is what you should be doing, the move you need to make. They don't know. They just know from their experience. And 9 times out of 10, I'm sorry I'm being all preachy about it, but 9 times out of 10 in their experience and in their defense, what people are saying when they tell you that you can't do something, what they're actually saying is, I can't do this. I have, like Christine, she has no interest in doing chess. She has no, chess. Who the hell would play chess? Oh my God, chess is a game. Who would play a game? I don't know. People make millions of dollars playing games. Football players, basketball players, baseball players, soccer players, forget about it. Them guys walking around on the field damn near billionaires. Like, you think football players make money? Shit, basketball player, football player, basketball player, and a baseball player don't make nowhere near combined. Don't make what a fucking, pardon my French, don't make what a soccer player make in Europe. Those guys get caked, creamed up, right? Chess is a game. You have multi-deca millionaires who play chess, so there's an opportunity there. It's an old game for a reason. Oh, you can get that game at Toys R Us. You could also buy basketball and football at Toys R Us. That don't mean you're gonna make money doing it. If he has an opportunity to do it and it's something he's passionate about, why not let him chase it? Right? Just like in some cases, what's ironic is when the wives and the Brown family went to do Sister Wives, people in the church told them they shouldn't do it. It's not for them. It'll expose the church, could put people's families in danger, could break their family up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They were advised not to do it. Y'all did it anyway. You chased your dream, so why shouldn't he chase his? Just saying. It can't, just because you suffered through the first part of your life by your decisioning, your choice, because you chose to stay in that marriage. I don't give a shit what anybody say about how you was brought up. You chose to stay there, right? You chose to marry Cody. You chased Cody. You chose to marry him. You basically proposed to him. You chose to marry him, even though he wasn't excited about marrying you. You chose to stay with him and make the most of it. Those were all your choices. Let them make their choices. They got to make their own choices. They got to make their own. Sometimes they got to make their own bad choices, and that's the hardest thing as a parent to do, is to sit back and watch your kids make shit choices. Like, I wouldn't do that. Sometimes as a parent, your job isn't to, correct a choice, is to be there when the pieces, help them pick the pieces up. But we have another one from Mary. Let's check it out.
Hey, James. Hey, about the new Shite Chateau 2.0 for Cody and Robin. Wow, the old one was bought in 2019. And what do? They buy a new house in 2024. Again, Cody's magical math, probably with balloon payments, is making them have to move or come up with a boatload of money. Whoever thought? Cody is again with that reason why they had to leave Vegas. Oh, now they have to leave this house. This has nothing to do with Mr. Robert or anything. This probably has to do with balloon payments that magically Cody moves every 5 years. Who knew? Anyway, let me know what you think. Bye.
You know what? I did not consider that, Mary, in fairness. I did not consider that they bought this house on an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, because that would be stupid. And I'm embarrassed to say I didn't think about it, because that would be like, I didn't think about it or consider it, because that would be so dumb. That would be the dumbest shit you could possibly, like, you already did that in Vegas. You already did that with all the houses in Vegas. That's why you had to move from Vegas, in my opinion. Right? Because that's what made sense. That you guys bought the houses on an adjustable rate mortgage. And I think they confirmed it at some point. I think Janelle confirmed it. But if you just barely escaped a house and a household, you get out to Arizona and you do it again. And what makes it even dumberer, not even dumberer, is the fact that Mary, I hope for my own sanity, I hope you're wrong, because this is so dumb. It would be mind crippling. This would be mind crippling stupidity. You get out to Arizona. You think you did some shit because you got them to sell their houses. You bought some land on County Pass. You bought your house at the McMansion. And even still, instead of you just saying, you know what, shit ain't working out with these women, I'm going to go ahead and just put a conventional loan on this house so that way I know it's my house and I don't have to mess around another 5 years. Nope. You don't do that. Not only do you not do that, you get out to Arizona and start kicking a damn cash cow. You got a goose that's laying golden eggs, and you can't help but think, you know what go good with goose? Fried goose. I want to crack them golden eggs open, make some omelets, golden omelets, and I want to eat a goddamn goose dinner. Like, pardon the GD. I don't even do use that, but damn, that would be so dumb. That would be ridiculously dumb. I'm going to get in a fight with the women who are helping me to pay this bill. And then when I have to sell a house in 5 years, they won't be around. And that's my master plan. That would be, look, you talk about chess. That would be the checkmate of stupid. Checkmate. You would never do that. That would be the dumbest thing. Hold my beer. Checkmate. Dumb as hell. Oh my goodness. You just got my blood pressure up thinking about that. That would be insane. It tracks. I'm not saying it doesn't have any validity. You know, I can't prove it either way. But dang. Holy smokes. Again, I apologize for excuse me, Lord. Don't hurt me. But yeah, buddy. Oh, got a little anxious. Got a little out of control. Oh man. But let me get to some super chats. We had some super chats come in. We had Unlimited Lipstick, 279 super chat. Do you think we'll find out why McKelty turned? I don't know. I think that maybe that's what season 21 is about. Like what they did to turn the whole family against him, including McKelty. Because McKelty rode with him for a long time. But apparently, what makes me kind of skeptical of it, that is as big as we initially thought, or I had heard, and I was kind of passing around, just as something I heard, that he had said something about like the ownership of the property or whatever. Because if it's that, then shame on you guys for not bringing it up earlier. Because you already buried Big G's. And if they did say something at one of the repasses or the funerals or whatever, then you should have been talked about that shit. I'm not waiting for another season to bring that up. Like, we're not going to go a full year and I'm pretending like, oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about it. But that's also what I'm saying is that is too scripted. Because if it is something like that, then that should have been the natural thing is if I'm going to hold that kind of grudge, which is a good reason to hold a grudge, in my opinion. If I'm going to hold that kind of grudge, I'm not playing that down. I'm not going to pretend like that's not why I'm mad at you. And I'm certainly not going to be looking for you to come and say bye to me. If I was that insulted that you said something at a funeral, months later, I'm not going to be looking for you to come and see me off when I'm leaving or moving. You understand what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I guess they could get into it, but I don't see Cody allowing it to happen. And McKelty, she says some, like, she'll say a little more, like some more things on her Patreon, but she's yet to drop any bombs on the show. So I don't know. But that's a good question, Janet. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, that, not curious enough. I don't think it's a curiosity enough to fill up another season, but I am curious. But thank you so much. Excellent question. All right. And oh shit. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. They try to cut my stream off. You what? You better stop the streams. McStreams. You better cut it out. Unlimited lipstick with a $279 super chat. Can't touch this. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We give you a little something. Can't touch this. We had Who Cares Melissa? Who Cares Melissa became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the team. Don't forget you can join the membership roundtable on Saturdays. We do that at noon. It's a lot of fun. We just open up the screens, the phone lines. Everybody's on. And we have a conversation. Sometimes we talk about the Brown family. Sometimes we get a little deeper. Just be ready. It's a lot of fun. You'll have access to. I think you have access to it too. But thank you and welcome. Then we had a comment from Brittany. Now, Brittany, member for 7 months. That's part of the Mod Squad right there, Mega Mod Squad. These are also the same grown-ass adults who live nowhere near their parents complaining about their kids moving away. This is true. These are also, and to add to what Brittany is saying, these are also the same grown-ass adults who live in a place, and the second their kids start moving around them to live in that place, they move somewhere else. And the whole time when they move to the next place, so you had Aspen move there to be around the Browns in Vegas. You had Maddie move around to be around the Brown family in Vegas. Then all of a sudden they moved to Arizona talking about, yeah, we want to set up a place so the kids could possibly move out here. And they can't afford to move out there because apparently Flagstaff, Arizona is way more expensive than Vegas. And Vegas in and of itself is expensive as hell. So Arizona must be nosebleed seats as far as the pricing to get into a home. And then they say, oh, we're going to build a bigger house so that way they can possibly move around here too. They couldn't afford to move there 4 years ago. Why the hell do you think they're in a better position to move out there now? Especially as they're starting to build their lives. And that's one of the down takeaways, like I was saying, like when them having jobs and things like that, which will be independent of being a part of your family. They're going to have jobs. They're going to have friends and other people that they're going to want to hang out with. Why would they come and spend months on end at your house? They're not children anymore. And every parent wants their kid to come back and visit them and see them and spend time with them. But you also have to recognize that, these young folks got to forge their own lives. They got to, move forward with their stuff and things that they're trying to accomplish for themselves. And sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not a bad thing that your kids want to have lives just as you have a life. Thank you so much though, Brittany, you want to comment? Here we go from Lizzie B. Stay tuned. There will be a membership given to a lucky My Take on Reality subscriber during the live stream selection at random. Yeah, we can't pick, just so you guys know, if a membership is gifted, the person given a membership, nor can I dictate who gets it, right? They won't let us give away. Oh, yes, oh yeah. There will be another free membership given away. Just remember that. I can gift a membership. Yeah, I'm going to gift me a membership. Lizzie B has inspired me. Okay, but let's listen to another message. Megatron in the house.
Hey, James, this is Megatron, My Take family. Hey, guys, I'm coming in lukewarm tonight. I'm not coming in hot. I'm coming in lukewarm. I just real quick, one point I wanted to kind of touch on was, can we all agree that Mary's speed dating scene or whatever was totally staged, totally unauthentic? How are you going to talk about, oh, Ron was nice, Ron was this, and then 2 seconds later, but I don't want to get, I'll think about it. First of all, Mary just needs to come out of the closet. Just admit it, girl. There's nobody left in there but you anyway. Just come on out.
I'm not trying to out the woman. Look, I'm just saying, be yourself. Be yourself. If something makes you happy, as long as it don't involve no children, and as long as the people who you involved with are consenting adults and they're making a choice, I don't care how you live your life. Do you, boo boo? If you like it, I love it. There's no shame to the game, but at the same time, don't show up to the speed dating event. Just my two. Don't show up to the speed dating event acting like you better than the speed dating event. You there for a reason, okay? You're not better than them, right? I don't understand. These people are all kind of like, they look homely and lonely. This ain't my kind of people. Apparently they are. Okay. Sometimes when you find yourself in a place and the people who are attracted to you, and you be like, oh, I'm better than them. I don't understand why they like me. Yeah, because they're your speed. That's your speed. That's probably what you should, that's right there where you at. Right? They not shooting a ring like trying to shoot up. They right there. You right there with them. Accept your place. And sometimes the craziest thing, this is something I learned when I was in college. Like, if you get so fixated on how somebody looks and the appearance and all that stuff, you get so fixated on that. Oh, she gotta be a dime. She gotta be thin in the waist, cute in the face, gotta have her own place and won't spray me with mace. Oh yeah, like, you know what I mean? Then I had one buddy, he used to do like this with his hand, like, oh, her waist can't be no bigger than this. Like, what the shit? Like, who are you talking to? Stick figures? But at the end of the day, the one thing that I learned even in college, it took me to get to college, this is sad and it's a slow learner. But the one thing, you miss a lot of really cool opportunities. You miss out on some cool folks. If you just focus on how people look and what their money situation look like or superfluous things, you miss out on some cool people. And, to a degree, when you look back and you are focused on like getting a certain type of person who look a certain kind of way, have a certain amount of money at a certain height, at a certain eye color, a certain skin color, certain this, certain that. When you look back on that, and you say to yourself, you know what? It's kind of crazy that none of those relationships worked. Here's the secret, boo-boo. The reason why those relationships might not have worked is because the people were dog shit. They just looked good in a suit. maybe they just dressed well. They had a nice figure. The packaging was nice, but they were just crap people. That's why the relationship ain't worked. That's why you had a rough time when you were younger and everybody seemed like a jerk. That's always hilarious to me. Like, both in the manosphere is good for like sitting there crying the fucking blues all the time, talking about how it's not fair that all these women out here won't pick the right man, and they don't never want, these modern women only want to get men with money because they don't never want to give an average guy a chance. But then you look at the women that are around them, they don't give the women around them a chance. They're on the Instagram, the same women that they criticize for showing off their booties and the tatas, the same women that they criticize, and the same women that they talking shit about how they independent and modern women, and they need to be more modest and bow down and be more submissive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're walking right by the women who are way more modest, the women who, freaking, it might be ladies in the streets freaking the sheets. You never know. But they'll pass right by them and go right to the pages with the women who, one, you say you fundamentally disagree with the way they carry themselves, the way they present themselves. But two, let's be honest, you don't have a shot in hell to get one of them women anyway. So it don't matter how they act. You never going to date them anyway. So what difference does it make to you? And while you're so angry about that person not giving you a chance, you walking by 5 and 6 women that you work with, you go to church with, you've sat on park benches with, watched your kids play with each other and have a good time. You've had conversation with these people and never thought once to yourself that maybe we have such a great conversation. Maybe I should ask her out to dinner, or maybe I'll just take her to see if she'd like to get a cup of coffee at some point. That never occurs to you. Go to the speed dating thing for a good time. If you meet a conversation, you make a connection, cool. If you don't, maybe you'll make a friend. Maybe it'll be somebody cool there. So I'm not a big fan of like sitting there trying to play these guys like they clowns going to an event that you were attending. You understand what I mean? Like you were there too. I'm a clown. You a clown. We clowns together. But next up, we got Megatron Part 2.
Also, again, James, the fake outrage when the guy was like, "Oh, you're the celebrity here." Like, Mary, first of all, the man had to sign paperwork and be mic'd up to sit here and talk to you. Obviously, he's just trying to break. I just felt like that whole speed dating crap is BS. And then the immaturity sometimes that comes from her. And also I noticed like with Christine, like with the dog and all that stuff, like y'all are too old to be this immature. Like now I'm starting to get, my nerves are starting to get a little frazzled. As my grandma say, they starting to make my ass itch. Because why are we acting like giddy teenagers? Okay. Hee ha ha. It was cute the first hour. Okay. Now it's annoying. Let's grow up, everybody.
Megatron said her grandmama said, y'all started to make my ass itch. Yeah, I've heard that before. Must be a Southern thing. I think I heard it from like my great aunt, my cousins. I think they used to say that. I've heard that before. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like at the end of the day, like when it comes to that dog, Christine didn't do herself any favors with that dog. Because people who are dog lovers, animal lovers, that's going to go over like a fart in church. Okay. It's not going to be good. The one thing that bothered me with the whole dog situation, when Christine was like, "Oh, the hell with this dog," or whatever, leave the dog alone. I get it. You don't pick up people's dogs. You don't pick up stray dogs. You don't pick up stray cats. Hell with that. Stray cats are crazy. They cut you to ribbons. But the one thing I will say that bothered me is if you know whose dog it is, just go knock on the door and say, "Hey, your dog is out." First of all, dogs shouldn't be out running in front of people's houses anyway, because, leash laws and all that. It's most places it's illegal for your dog to be out. So you're actually saving the neighbor a problem. But a bigger issue is, as David said, and that we have this problem also where I live, foxes. Like a fox, that little ass dog, that mother is an appetizer. That little Mickey Ficky is an appetizer. They'll pop there, that little dog is a whisper fart. Like that them foxes will eat that dog and still be looking for food. So, but they will definitely eat that dog. They will definitely eat that dog. A fox will take down some cats. like, even like a medium, like maybe not medium-sized dogs, but they will definitely go after them. I've seen foxes stalk dogs, or cats and other small animals. And even some people, like I've seen people walk down the street like, hey, them foxes over there looking at your ass, you better get in the house. Hightail your ass in the house. But the fact that your neighbor's pet is in danger of being attacked by animals, like that's not cool. Like that's not a cool thing. That's a bad look, you know. But let me I think I saw a super chat come in. Hold on a second. Oh, we had a Brittany, not Brittany, one of the Mega Mod squad show up. $5 super chat, $4.99 super chat. Get it right, James. As someone who glowed up post high school, can confirm that the guys who ignored me then are the same ones mad they got passed up when I got fined. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Sweat me now or sweat me later. If you sweat me later, might be too late. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Story time. I told this story before, but I think it's completely relevant now. I know a kid. He was a relative of mine. He was a senior in high school, and there were these twins, right? Identical twins. Did I say identical twins? Identical twins, meaning they look the same, right? They look exactly alike. They're identical, right? And one of the young ladies was a little more posh. Like she wore stylish clothes. She wore expensive jewelry, things of that nature, like expensive sneakers, constantly had her hair done, makeup, the whole nine, right? That was the one that he was interested in. Her sister, the identical twin, was more of a tomboy young lady. Like, so she was more athletic. Not even so much tomboy. She was just athletic. She did sports and stuff. So she asked him to go to the prom. The one who liked him asked him to go to the prom. This dummy said no. I to this day, I'm like, let me get this straight. You wanted to ask her sister, the one you can't afford, because I know how much you make. You make jack shit. There's no way you'll be able to provide for her the way she wants to be provided for, because she's very materialistic. You can't even touch that. But you have a carbon copy replica of the one you wanting you. And if we're going to be all the way honest, the one who's athletic and in all the sports and shit, her body is probably way better underneath all the frumpy clothes and shit she's wearing. Her body is probably ridiculous. Like, we're going to be like superficial. And you don't want her. Bro, when you go to the prom, she's obviously not going to wear a sweatsuit to the prom. She's going to get dressed up. And guess what's going to happen? She's going to look just like, if not better than the one that you wanted. The only real difference, the only real substantive difference that makes her more compatible for you is the fact that she actually wants you. She thinks you're attractive. She thinks you're cool. She thinks you're funny. She wants to go out with you. That's the only difference. This one wants you. The other one don't. And he still he ain't listen to me, because I don't know what I'm talking about. And this is what I was saying before. You missed some great opportunities. You look back and be like, you know what? I was an ass, and I missed some fantastic opportunities to get to know. And it's not even so much like these sexual conquest opportunities. It's just getting to know somebody. Who are just cool ass people. Like, you get to know some cool ass people if you just take, some of that that superficial dumb shit off the table. You get to know some cool ass people. And then, like Brittany said, you mess around and all of a sudden they take them out shopping one day, be looking like a damn Disney show. All of a sudden, get their hair done, get a new outfit, turn your whole world upside down. All of a sudden, dudes crashing cars. What the hell? Bow. Hey. Remember when you liked me in 5th grade? Yeah, I've outgrown that now. I thought maybe we could like get together and try to work things out. Yeah, no. All right, old Brady, I got you. Look at a little something, something. Yeah, man. I said, to this day, I can't believe my man did that shit. I can't believe he did that. No, I don't like her, man, because you don't understand. And she's all frumpy and stuff. Are you crazy? And it wasn't even like I've seen them. Like they look just alike. The only difference was the one sister had her hair done all the time. That's the only difference. Like you, man, if you're gonna try to get the first one, you're gonna be paying for the hair, get her hair getting done anyway. You might as well pay for the second one who would appreciate it. As opposed to you getting the first girl ready so she can go to the prom and wind up leaving with somebody else or dancing with somebody else ass all night because she's not interested in you. I don't know. Don't get me started on that shit. Probably too late. All right. Next up, let me see. Oh, that's Megatron second. Yeah, I did Megatron second. We have. Wait, that's the wrong one. Linda.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. I don't think I'll be joining today. I'm heading down to the Boogie Down Bronx. Not sure what the topic is, but I'm watching the Special Forces on YouTube, so I'm getting my little kicks watching him get his ass beat there. The second episode, I don't know if you all saw it, didn't really show much. You know, they sped through it that they failed. But me being who I am, I started going through the internet and I found out that the one of the instructors, he's Foxy, that's his nickname. That's that tall English guy that gets in everybody's face. So he was on a podcast and he was giving feedback on his thoughts on the people there. So guess what? He was very impressed with Jesse James Decker, which no doubt she's pretty formidable, and Jussie Smollett. They are really looking at people, you know, without having these prejudices. But their take on Cody was, when I saw him, I thought he was the mad professor. You know, when they're lined up and they tell him to shut the fuck up. It wasn't Cody's voice that was bringing attention. He was really breathing and making these weird noises and he didn't know what it was. And one of the instructors is chewing out Manziel, but it wasn't Manziel. It was Cody. So their take on him, he's a mad professor and a weirdo.
Yeah. See, the weird thing about it, though, I can see the Special Forces people because my daughter, she went back and she was watching the Special Forces to get caught up. She actually watches the series. So I walked through and she was watching the second one where they went in the water and they had to swim out the door. And the one thing I will say is that in episode 1, Cody made reference to Jesse Smollett or Juicy Smollett. That like he asked his name and was like, "Oh, second chances." And Cody is there basically for second chances because he's trying to revitalize his image. So he's there for second chances as well. And the one thing that did stick out to me about Cody, like that section where they went into the water, because I watched it before, where Jesse left Eva from Real Housewives and America's Top Model. He left her in the water and she almost drowned. I'm like, this coward ass dude, coward to the end. Well, he goes back and there's a extra person, I think it's Rapone, soccer player. She needed a partner. And Jesse was the only one who raised his hand. And I was like, you know, that would be a good thing. He eventually failed again doing the same shit, which was kind of ridiculous. But the fact that he volunteered to do it, I give him a lot of credit. And I didn't really pick up on it the first time I watched it. But when my daughter was watching it today, I noticed that Jesse wasn't the only one who failed that test. Cody, amongst others, had all failed the test. They failed to do it right. You know, some of them panicked as soon as they got in the water. And Jesse was the only one who raised his hand and said, I'll go with her. And as much, and trust me when I say this, I have no love lost for talking shit about Jesse Smollett at all. Period, point blank. Right? But I do give him a lot of credit because when rubber met the road, he was the one who volunteered to go with the woman. Like he fucked it up, pardon my French. He messed it up, but he did try. He did try to give her an opportunity where she could be successful. And Cody wasn't raising his damn hand. And that was what I meant. Like if Cody wanted to step up and he was actually any type of leader, that would have been a time when a leader would step up. Somebody who's actually trying to improve or be there for his team. When they were outside and they called the people, Cody wants to be present. He wants to try to get as much screen time as he can, but he's not there trying to help people or trying to lead people. He's just trying to be the leader so that people recognize him as the leader and they give him more screen time. There's a significant difference. And to be honest with you, I think that the problem that he's going to face is that the audience for Sister Wives especially, but even for Special Forces, are no fools. They're going to see right through it. I don't think it's going to be as successful as he thought. But let me just acknowledge some super chats real quick. Because we have one of the other Mega Mod Squad, Carmel Cuties, in the house with a $10 super chat. I'm just over Mary's segment. Her and Jen are super annoying. Not funny at all. Mary, yeah, I agree. They're not funny at all. They tell corny jokes. They tell like little kid jokes almost. Mary is only looking to be back with Cody. Therefore, she will end up old AF and alone. I need her to heal and move the fuck on. Like, and I couldn't agree more. Like, I think she should move on just because you're damaging not only like forget the brand, like you're damaging your psychological. You're trying to create or recreate something that is gone. Like the family that you guys started together, that you took so much pride in, like I was there for the founding of the family. That family no longer exists. Cody burned that bad boy to the ground and pissed on the ashes. That family is no longer there. Okay. The only thing that's left after he burned down the family is his new family. And you are not going to be, you're not a part of that family, nor will you ever be a part of that family. I don't give a shit how deep you feel or how you feel about it, what your emotions call, how you were raised or anything else. That don't matter. He doesn't want you. There's no way. When Cody talks about, look, I still got to put this monogamy thing. I was cutting on this damn board for so long. But I'm telling you, when Cody is going for the monogamy stuff or for the plurality thing where he's talking about polygamy and bringing in the other wives and all that, he is not trying to reach back in his file and pick up the 50-year-old ex-wife he used to have. That's not who he's going for. Cody is trying to get something young and fine. He's trying to get something tender, young and tender, not old and grizzled. Okay? It's just not what he's doing. It's not the move he's making. He's not making that move. I 100% agree. And stop putting yourself in a position where somebody will look at you and say you old and grizzled. Go for somebody who will appreciate you, appreciate the wisdom and experience that you bring to the relationship. Not somebody who's looking for something innocent and sweet and quiet and something that he can take advantage of, because that's not going to benefit you. So I 100% agree, Carmel Cuties. That's, yeah. And like I said, it didn't annoy me. Like their little jokes and stuff didn't annoy me until she said, these people think they're funny. They're cracking these stupid ass jokes. Really? Okay. All right. All right. That's what we're going with. Okay. There's no stuff for Carmel. And like I said, you're not better than the people that you were in a place with. You're there together. You're there together. Then we have Unlimited Lipstick, $6.99 super chat. When Cody talks about how hot Robin is, it shows how subjective it is. I find Janelle and Christine prettier. He treated the others like Cinderella. Yeah. I mean, I think that early on, Robin had the benefit of being smaller. Because if you look at, because I know they, Cody likes shapely women. I beg to differ. The only woman that Cody married that was the only woman that Cody married that you could even potentially say was heavy set, right? Big boned, thick as cold peanut butter. The only one you could say was built, built sturdy was Christine. Mary was rail thin when Cody married her. Janelle, she was also rail thin when Cody married her. Like Janelle picked up weight when they got older. But when she first came into the family and Cody was chasing her ass around, and she fresh off of being married to Mary's sister or brother, Janelle was small. Janelle looked just like, in fact, Janelle was so small, she looked just like Maddie when she was younger, around the time Maddie got married. The two of them, like Maddie looked like Janelle looked like she broke a piece of herself off, put it in a petri dish, and grew Maddie out of discarded cells. Like Maddie looks like Janelle's clone. You know what I mean? Like when Janelle was young, Janelle looked just like Maddie when she was in high school and into college. So she was small too. So that's really Cody's style. Like I know they said that shit on TV, but that is really what he wanted. So being as though she was a small one when he met Robin, and the other wives had picked up weight because they had a ton of damn kids, right? And they had jobs and they was taking care of kids. So yeah, they picked up weight. Oh well, I think again, if you look beyond what they look like and look at what they were contributing to your lifestyle, and your peace of mind, he might have chose different. But your values and priorities have to be set or adjusted. But thank you so much, Unlimited Lipstick. Thank you, Janet. Appreciate you. Give you a little something, something. Then we had Flufferton's mom with the $1.99 super chat. Oh wow, look at that little fur baby. That cat is cute. Thank you so much. No messages to love. Appreciate you. Just showing off that cat. Yes, I know what you're doing. She like, check this out, y'all. Yeah, that's a good looking cat. All right. Years ago, I was not a cat person. I'm a cat person. Oh, I'm still a dog guy, but I like cats too now. Cats are cool. And all it took was like just me to have one cool ass cat that was just like a dog. One day I'll tell you guys about my cat dog, Jay. That was a cool ass cat. He was a good cat. Next up we got Linda.
And I just loved it. His mugging of trying to be a man and look so manly and look so soldier like is just really, it just pisses me off. I almost punched my TV because the opening of the second episode, he's really trying to get that camera time because nothing is scripted. So he realized that if he wants to be in the forefront, he's got to put his way through there. So the opening scene is you hear the instructors yell out and he comes out the door. Did I hear something? Bitch, please. Yeah, it's you trying to be the fun guy. So, James, on your take, I listened to it twice on Cody's plan. He was part of the manosphere. Someone a long time ago, I don't know where it was that I read or heard it, kind of said that that's where he came from. He hid it and now he's pulling it out. And, looking at all the snippets of the first episode, I really think he's on his I don't give a fuck arc. I'm going to show who I am because my money is in the bag, because according to McKelty, season 21 is filming. I don't know what the hell they're going to try to put in there, but season 21 is filming. So Cody is going to act the fool. Robin is going to act the fool. They're going to rub shit all up in our face because their money is secure.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, the one thing I will say with regard to the manosphere, what I'm referring to when I say that he's making a move to the manosphere, like I said, that I think I said it earlier, but throughout the seasons, he dropped little notes or dog whistles that he was a part of the manosphere or at least absorbing manosphere content. That's significantly different than him becoming a manosphere YouTube creator, say, or a manosphere TikTok or social media personality, where that's what he talks about and that's what he deals with. And that's what I was referring to. Like I don't think he was ever paid for his positions as far as the manosphere was concerned. I do think that he's making that move. He's transitioning to where he can, because if you come out with manosphere content, if he becomes a YouTuber, he'll have like a bunch of people who will subscribe to his channel, and he could be at hundreds of thousands of people in no time. By the time he hits like 1 million subscribers or 2 million subscribers, this dude is making $1 million annually from just sitting on YouTube, right? Obviously, I'm nowhere near $1 million, but like it's the potential is there, and that's the reality of it. Like there's a per usual, like you could make a shit ton more money being super negative on YouTube than you can ever trying to encourage people. Right. And if you sat around and you were trying to downplay or talk down to or degrade women, there is an audience for that. Everything that Cody did and does on Sister Wives, there are a group of guys who will look at that and justify everything that he did. Him not spending time with his kids, him laying down the law saying that he's not going on Isabel's surgery. Bump her. She can go by herself. If you want to send her, then you send her alone. I'm not going. I'm going to take care of my family because I'm a protector. I got my quiet, shy wife at home. And if you want to be an independent, modern woman and you can go off and do it by yourself, but you're going to take your kids with you, we look at that and say that he's a terrible person for doing that. There's a group of people who will look at him for doing that and celebrate him doing it. And I think that's the group that I'm talking about. That's the money that I think he's trying to tap into. So it's not just him reiterating the manosphere points. I think that he's trying to make a move where he becomes a manosphere personality. So the same way you would reference like an Andrew Tate or Fresh and Fit or one of the other guys, whatever podcast or whoever that do Andrew. It's not. I think his name is Andrew too. I think there's another guy named Andrew. Him and his wife, and his daughter do manosphere content where they just basically get up and berate a bunch of 18-year-old young ladies. He wants to be in that mix because he can make a ton of money doing it and become one of the debate bros. And in that case, he doesn't have to deal with the ex-wives. He doesn't have to share any of his income. Like there's a lot of reasons why people would do that. So I think that's what I was referring to. I don't know if that's what you meant, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. Then we have Linda again.
Now, I can't leave without saying something about Queen Ho Robin. So that whole piggy thing was just really bugging me because I'm like, I didn't know if it was scripted. I don't know if it's real. I've come to the conclusion that it's 100% real. I don't think that scene was scripted. So I went over to our resource, my take, notes to self. They are the ones that know these people and know what's going on. And they came to a really cool conclusion that I was thinking about. Robin is planning her exit strategy. For whatever reason, she wants to be back in the AUB. I personally think it's a competition with her sister Fern because that's the sister who she took away her boyfriend, Jessup, and had these kids. She's now married to a bishop. Now, the one thing that Melanie said was that the AUB would take Robin back in a minute because of the resources she's bringing. Remember, she's the first wife and she's got all the money. So I think she's going to let Cody run his mouth. She's going to have the excuse, I have to leave him because this is not the life I want to lead. She could point out what a real pig he's been without offending because, there's so misogynistic there. And she's going to leave with the whole bag. She's going to leave with everything, which pisses me off because I want her penniless like the fucking piece of shit she is. And him as well. Bye.
Per usual, Linda's not holding back. Um, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think that she's setting it up. Not only is she setting it up, she's setting it up perfectly because she has Cody advertising her as a quiet, sweet wife, the supportive wife, the submissive wife. That's what they look for. That's what they look for. So he's setting her up too, not realizing it. She's setting herself up because she's pushing the idea that she wants to be a part of a polygamous family. Now, the whole thing is, will they take her back? Sure. I absolutely think they would take her back for any number of reasons. Like, we look at Robin and say, wow, she's deceitful. I'm sure, everybody's got somebody out there. I'm sure there's guys out there dreaming about Robin, waiting for her to get divorced. I look at her and be like, yeah, there's no way I would touch that with a 10-foot pole. Right? I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole that touched the 10-foot pole that would touch it. But there are guys, I'm sure she'd probably say the same thing about me. So please don't let's not pretend like that's not the case. But there's also the realization that, there are guys out there who are looking at her and everything she's doing makes sense to them. It doesn't make sense to me. Right? But it makes sense to them. And I can see some of these guys like, oh yeah, Robin, I tame that shrew. There's a lot of people who think they can tame the shrew. Just, you know what that reminds me of? Every few years, same shit. Every few years, you have some jackass get into go to a zoo, pay the entry fee to get into the zoo. They go down to where the tigers are, the lions are, or the bears, right? There's always like one of them, like, oh, they're so cute, so fuzzy, they're so kind. Look at him, he's looking at me with them soft eyes. Like, no, that dude's looking at you like you lunch. And then they for some dumbass reason, they always climb and they make it in. They get into the enclosure with the animal, and then they always look surprised when the damn thing attack them. Right. And that's kind of how I see Robin, like with a lot of these guys. Like, I think some of these guys think that they're the idiots who climb in with the tiger and can't believe that the tiger didn't eat them. You know what I mean? I was in there with the tiger didn't eat me because the tiger thought it was a damn setup. Oh, yeah, man, you go and bite his ass, they're going to shoot the shit out you, cuz. I know that's right. That's how they got Tommy, right? Tiger, man, that tiger will eat your ass. They will eat you alive. And for most of these guys, like, she comes into the family, if she does go into a polygamous family, they'll have to have some kind of means or something to give her. She's not just like Robin didn't do all this with the Brown family, sleeping with Cody and doing everything she needed to do on TV for all these years so she can go to the AUB and give all that money to somebody in the AUB. That's not the way she working it, right? Like I said, Robin's not a dumb person. Like, she's not a stupid person. I don't think she's quiet. I don't think she's shy. And I certainly don't think she's stupid. So she's not going to just give her money to the first guy who says that he's willing to do polygamy with her. And she puts him in a position where he could take on 3-4 more wives. No, she's going to leave Cody and she's going to put herself in a position where she's somebody of note in the church, or somebody who has some power, either have some power or have some recognition within the church or outside the church, where she is able to exert some type of power and be able to provide for herself if necessary. Robin is a survivor. She's like a cockroach. You might not like the way they look. They might be ugly and disgusting when you see them. But just know this. When the bombs get dropped, that mother's going to still be around, still crawling the earth, doing cockroach things. But they're hard to get. You ain't going to never get rid of them. Right? Don't let her in your house. You ain't never getting rid of her. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't. Like, I think that, best laid plans. Like, she leaves Cody. I don't know if it'll work out as well as she thinks it will. Because people who have means and money and things of that nature, they might marry her for recognition. And there might be some things that she could give them. But a lot of them guys, they trying to go young too. And Robin has been married twice. And she's had kids with at least 2 guys. You understand what I mean? Well, I'm saying at least 2 guys. That is kind of jacked up. She's had kids with 2 guys, her ex-husband and then now Cody. So some of these guys, they're barely doing one ex. So especially the people the higher up you go, the more wealthy they are, the more power they have. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't doubt Melanie and Corey. But I'm just saying. Now we have Tanya Carter in the house.
Hey, James. So this week's episode, oh, it's hard to watch. It's at this point, I paid for the ride, and I'm just waiting for it to end. Um, I don't even know where to start. It was boring. It was boring, and you're right. If anybody comes in and doesn't watch this show, what are we watching? And what is Cody's obsession with cutting wood? Like, what the hell? He needs to go be a lumberjack. That would be a good job for him. That would be a first job and a good job for him. Not that he would do a good job, but just that, that would be something that seems like he could really get his back into. Robin's annoying. Mary was annoying. Like, yeah, she had like this entitled attitude. Like, why are people? It's like, why do you think there's a camera right in front of you? Like, and you're not a celebrity, so of course people are coming over like hesitant, like what's going on here. Christine's boring now. Janelle gave me some chuckles, but yeah, that's an inside joke. Pretty shy wife. Nobody's gonna understand that. I can't go the whole season like this, and God knows what season 21 is about. Like, I'm still baffled.
And I think that that's her first one. And I think she's right. Like I think Tanya's 100% right, Miss Kata. But I think she's 100% right. Like when push come down to shove, I've been saying this too. So I guess I agree with her, but I agree with myself. But James, you're a weirdo. But I think that that's spot on. Like when push comes down to shove, what are we watching? Not even to be a dick about it, but what are we watching? Like, the prospect is after everything is done with County Pass, what's next? That's always like an entertainment question too. That's truly an entertainment question. You can tell me what you were in, but what are you doing next? What's your next project? What is your next season about? Okay, this last season was a banger. Season 17 was a record high. When Christine left, it was amazing. We had a bunch of new people join the Sister Wife family, and the audience grew by X amount of points. Awesome. What are you guys going to do season 18? Janelle left. Season 19. Mary left. Mary left and then Big G's funeral. And that's all I remember. Season 20. So far, what is it about? We got to see Christine road trip with her husband. So that's the reality show version of brushing your teeth. We have Cody and Robin talking about being monogamous and possibly buying another house. So basically their storyline is going to be, I'm going to talk about how much I love her and I'm going to stun on you fools. Like that. I'm going to show off how much money I have and what I got going on. That's the equivalent of reality show equivalent of you brushing your teeth. You know what I mean? And combing your hair. Like that. It's not interesting television. And like I said, with like Tanya said, the inside jokes from Danielle from Janelle, they work because we understand the joke. But if you're new to the show, new to the series, this is your first season. If not your first episode, you have no idea what she's talking about. Or she just looks. The craziest part is, to me, it does a disservice to the OG3 because it just makes them look catty and petty. They have every right to feel the way they feel. And they need to get a little get back, and this is healthy for them to get some get back this way. But for somebody who's not aware of what the previous transgressions were, this just looks petty. It's not doing them any favor. So, yeah, I agree. Let me go through some messages we received. Flufferton's mom, member for 2 months. Thank you so much, Flufferton's mom. I can't help myself. I think baby Flufferton is spectacular. That's a good looking cat. That's a good looking cat. Yeah, Flufferton. Yeah, I'm sure Flufferton has quite a few fans. So no worries there. Lizzie B gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Okay. Make sure you guys join the roundtable, we run a weekly roundtable where everybody can get up and talk and stuff. If you are gifted the membership, you are welcome, and you have your pass to participate. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. All right, and then we had who cares, Melissa? $5 super chat, super sticker. Thank you so much, Melissa. Appreciate you. Let me give you a little something, something. Appreciate that. All right. Oh, and then we had Raspberry, $5 super chat. Prediction: the next man to date Robin is going to suffer from a mega case of white knight syndrome. The hapless guy who will out provide Cody. I think you might be right. I mean, I think that probably will be it. Like, oh, I saw what you underwent and I'm going to save you from that thing. Let me just do this. Because essentially, if you really look at it, that there is a precedent for that, because that's essentially what Cody did. Cody white knighted Robin when it came to her ex-husband Dave. He was so terrible and mean to you, and you went through so much, and he didn't understand you, which is always awesome. When a guy who is like cheating with a person tells the person that he's cheating with that she's being misunderstood and it's not fair, and they're gonna really look out for it, and it's gonna be so great and so wonderful because now that I'm here, I'm gonna understand you and take care of you. You need to take better care of her, yo, because she's very sensitive, until they break up. Then all of a sudden, they hearing the same thing from somebody else that they were trying to tell her previous boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, her previous lover, which is awesome. That is what they call karma. So yeah, Cody, and that's the thing too. The same way Cody sat around and talked shit about Robin's ex for years, he gonna be on the other side of that. I'm tired of these women crap talking me and talking bad about me. Talking about the OG3. Bro, you have no idea how bad this is gonna get. Because these women, to much of the chagrin of most of the fan base, at least on this channel, they think that the OG3 women need to start saying more. They think they taking it too easy on Cody and Robin's ass. They too nice. I don't think Robin's gonna suffer from that same affliction where she's being too nice. You know what I mean? Like, Robin, is she being nice? Is she being kind? Is she being gentle? Is she gonna be like the OG3? Or is she gonna be something else?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
It's gonna be a whole different ball game, I guarantee you. Thank you very much. Let me give you a little something, something. All right. Oh, James, I love when you cat. You know what it is. Look, I just know I just understand how shit go. And I know that when push comes down to shove, Robin is not one, because she accused that man of all kinds of stuff. Robin said some terrible things about her ex-husband. And the OG3 didn't even come close to saying anything that Robin and even them or Cody were saying about Robin's ex-husband. Not even close. You know, so just saying. And Robin, she's perpetually the victim anyway. Oh man, bruh. It's all gonna be your fault. But we got number 2 from Tanya.
My second thought is I really hope that Mary's friend, I can't think of her name now, Jen,
Jen, yep.
and David are getting paid. Because if Robin can sit on a log, literally a lump on a log, and talk to Cody about some bullshit, I'm sorry, that we've heard for the past 5 years, David and Jen are bringing more to the table, more content. Not much and not interesting, but more content than Robin. They need to get paid as much as her, or she needs to get a pay cut, and they all need to get supporting character paychecks.
kind of felt like David, I don't know if he was implying this or if he meant to imply this, but I kind of feel like he's starting to kind of feel a little used by Christine. Not that he loves her still, but he's kind of, to me, it kind of seemed like she's kind of taking advantage of him being everything Cody wasn't, and she might want to watch out for that. And I think they need to get off the TV very quickly before their relationship gets torn apart and ripped apart by the masses. That's about it. Mary enjoys a good joke.
I think she got cut off, but she has another one. But just real quick, I look, push him down and shove. Like, I think that when it comes to David and the relationship, I 100% agree with Tanya. If they want to save their marriage, you want to live long and be happy and stay married, get off TV, because this will destroy your marriage. And when it comes to Christine possibly potentially taking advantage of David, as he said, when you have somebody who doesn't do anything, I can see where she gets excited about somebody who will do anything. You have somebody who won't do anything, and you have somebody who will do anything for you. It does become a bit of a draw for you to say, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, do this, hey, do that, and include them in a lot of stuff and then pull them into a lot of the things that you want to do, get done. The one trapping to that is don't ever take that shit for granted. Because the ironic part is that if you've been in a situation where you have never had this, and then so it's weird to say don't take it for granted, especially being as though what it's like to be in a relationship with a person who doesn't do any of the things that you're expecting your current husband to do. One, two, you're that there are people out there like that for sure because you were married to one. So don't take advantage of that. And again, that could be the plan for the show. I think that I would be surprised if Jen and David don't receive some stipend. They might receive some stipend on the show. They would be fools to not get something. But at the same time, there is a way, like as jacked up as this is, in the world of regular production, they would be getting paid. In the world of reality shows, you have the promise that potentially if your character takes off, you might be included in a spinoff where you could potentially get paid or have an opportunity to do that. Or at some later point, you might have opportunities to get paid, not from the production team or the show, but you can get paid from like Instagram or places like that. Because I know that like I'd be willing to bet, I don't know, but I'd be willing to bet that since Jen has appeared on Sister Wives as Mary's friend through conversation or whatever, like just a little quick spots, I'd be willing to bet her social media presence has exploded. I'd be willing to bet that her social media stuff has exploded. And I'd also be willing to bet that she's been offered sponsorships and things of that nature. So she probably has more access to, I've been on social YouTube for about 2-3 years now, and she probably has way more opportunities on whatever platform. I think she's on Instagram. She has more opportunities on Instagram than I have. So, you know what I mean? She's paying bills with her social media money. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like she's probably doing well. Like, so even if she's not getting paid from the show, they're making money other ways. We had a Kathy Mosley up in the house, $5 super chat. $5 super chat. Do you think Cody got his vaccines to travel for special forces? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Going to Morocco? If you don't look, you can play that game here. I'm not getting no vaccines. I'm anti-vaxxer. You go to other countries, they won't even let your ass in. And I'm talking about some countries, they'll draw down on your ass in the airport. Like, you don't turn that shit around. You got to show up with your vaccinations paper. And to be honest with you, just as a production team, they don't want you going somewhere getting sick. They damn sure don't want you going somewhere getting sick and possibly, or making other people sick. Because if you're not vaccinated, it could go bad for you. So yeah, 100%. And if he said, I'm not doing it, they say, then you're not doing special forces. And with that threat alone, they're not TLC. They're not TLC. They're not relying on Cody Brown to make this season. They didn't, it's nice. I'm sure from their perspective, it's nice if he does it, but we don't have to have him. They have NBA people, they have NFL people, they have former Olympians, they have all kinds of people that they do this show. So they don't need a Cody Brown. So yeah, he got vaccinated. I'd be willing to bet on that. It'd be ironic if they were like, you got to get your COVID vaccination. I'm not doing that because I'll be magnetized. You know what I mean? Then you come in the house like, guys, take your phones away because I'm magnetized now. Don't hold any change. Get that change off the table because I'm a big magnet because I've been COVIDized. But yeah, he's got his vaccinations. But let me give you a little something. Good question. I mean, it's, again, I'm not sitting in his house. And I'm sure if you ask Cody, he probably said
Wrong.
wrong. I ain't get vaccinated, not at all. But I'm pretty sure he did. And we have the Bronzed Empress with the $4.99 super chat. Christine has definitely passed her graceful exit point after the wedding. I would hate for her to go full circle on 2 marriages on the same show. That would be some shit. You know what I mean? Grand opening, grand closing. You know what I mean? We didn't watch it get married the first time. We watched the divorce. We watched it get married the second time, but I don't want to see the full lifespan of a marriage. I mean, that would be kind of heartbreaking. But yeah. But the one, see, I don't want to be an asshole about it. But the one downside to it is that Christine was a fan favorite, especially starting since 17, right? 16 really when she decided that she was going to pack Cody's stuff up. 17 when she actually left Cody, she was a fan favorite, and in all that support that she garnered, it's crazy easy to lose. The craziest thing, I've always said this about like our appetites for social media, not even social media people, famous people in general. The only thing that, I say Americans, but the only thing Americans love more than celebrating our heroes is tearing down our heroes, So if she conducts herself, she can become the very thing that everybody was complaining that she was by her sheer presence. And that'll be good for nobody. But that's, I agree. Full circle on the same show. Jeez. Oh, that'd be terrible. I mean, but it would, as jacked up as this is, and forgive me, but that would at least be a storyline. Right now, she doesn't even have a storyline. That would at least be a damn storyline. But thank you so much, Bronze Empress. Yeah, right now they kind of shoot nothing. Like nothing is happening. But we have another one from Tanya Carter.
And this is my third thought and final. Because I have to provide at minimum 3 speak pipes. Just in case people are shy and you don't have enough in the queue, I have to provide some backups for you to keep the conversation moving. I don't mind doing that. I'm just kidding. People are reeling over Christine and that dog and how she treated that little Yorkie when they came outside the house. Animal lovers across the world are furious at Christine. The same way we were mad when Robin kicked that dog and she didn't think anybody saw it and they got it on video and people have gone back and freeze framed it. This is going to age like milk for Christine. Why in the world? You're on national TV. If you don't like animals, whatever. Don't ever let anybody know that you don't like animals, because the way she treated that dog, like, ew, that rat, rah, rah, let go of it, let's go. and he leaves it on the porch. I'm gonna ring the doorbell. Hopefully somebody will see it. Run, run, dog. It's like did she want him to run it over with the truck? Like Christine. Oh my God.
Yeah, them animal lovers, boy, they take you down. They take you down. You know, I could tell a story time about that, but you know, I'm telling you, them animal lovers, they take no shorts. They have no pity on you. But yeah, push them down and shove again. As far as Tanya's joke, the inside madness, because there was a couple of times we did the speak pipes, especially early on. We didn't have a whole lot of phone calls. So basically Tanya was the show. Tanya, I think, did it. Linda did it. And I think Daisy might have did it a couple of times where it's like they were the only calls we had. So I appreciate them. I appreciate Tanya and everybody who calls in because they make the show. All right, but next up we have Daisy Reyes. You know, Daisy come in hot. She takes no shorts. So we had to check that out. Here we go.
Hey, James, I wasn't gonna say shit because I'm fucking tired of these lying ass bitches. All of them. All of them. But, yo, let me just talk my shit anyway. Yo, about Cody and Robin, I feel like them little kids don't fuck with them either. I mean, what's there to like? Yo, I remember I saw this clip and Ariella, was just like chilling in the living room doing like little girl shit. And Cody was all like, no playing, no talking, no breathing, like dead ass serious, yo. And she just looked at him like, damn, can't even talk up in this bitch. Like, I don't think he really likes being around kids like that. I think he's a fake fool. Like, and also like with the whole Solomon thing, I feel like Robin wants to hold on to the title of having his younger little babies. Like, I don't know, it's some ghetto mentality where it's just like, oh well, I got the new babies. Like, um, yeah, so even when they're being fake, they can't even be real. It's crazy.
All right, that was the first one. We have a few, but yeah, Daisy hit a point though, because when you look at it, the the attitude that he has towards even the youngest kids, it does come off, and this is jacked up, especially like in light of something Linda said. Like it's kind of jacking up the whole. I think it was Linda who had talked about like how this is messing up the whole redemption arc because he's sitting there trying to, all the older kids are basically saying we don't want to be around him, and he's trying so hard with the younger kids, but it's coming off less genuine because he's not really trying to be around them like that. Because it does look like he's just trying to repair his image because the older kids have such a negative view of him. It does look like he's coming back and saying basically, I'm not half as bad as these people say I am. Look how good I am with my little ones. But then when he's with the little ones, it does seem like a lot of anger. It seems like a lot of dismissive behavior. It seems like he doesn't want to be involved or really be bothered. And even from the respect of like, look, I'm making them breakfast. It doesn't look like this is something you normally do. So, I mean, there's that. But let's listen to episode 2.
Yo, James, just my personal opinion and allegedly and all them motherfucking disclaimers. Yo, I didn't trust Janelle from the motherfucking get. I know that, the Sister Wives audience, they all have their favorites and they all have who they relate to. And that's why I started watching this show during 18 or 19, whenever fucking Christine told Cody to pack his motherfucking bags. Like I started watching and I was like, damn, like, any woman who's, been in romantic relationships can relate to either one of the wives. But at the same time though, I don't want the fact that I relate to them and I identify in them sometimes to keep me from talking shit. So anyway, or not talking shit, but for seeing shit what the fuck it is. So anyway, with Janelle or whatever, as soon as I saw her laughing sadistically at fucking, can't nobody tell me different. I know what the fuck I saw in her face. I know how the fuck she laughed. I was like, oh, she thinks she better than these bitches. She thinks she got some special relationship with Cody, and it makes her happy when he breaks them down in front of her. It just does. She can hide it. She cannot admit to it, but her little behavior is exposed that shit. So anyway, why the fuck she saying shady shit about David in this new motherfucking episode? Why? She does shit like that. Yo, Cody even called her out once. Like he said, Yo, she says a bunch of shit on the couch that she would never fucking have the balls to say to my face. And she likes to sneak diss a lot. That's what Megatron.
All right, that was the second. And I'll say this. Like I think that Janelle, not so much in defense of Janelle, just recognizing where she is. She is the type of person who doesn't like to create problems or cause problems. So when she's in that situation, she just plays it back, plays it down, and she tries to avoid a lot of the problems. And so I think that's where they get a lot of the she doesn't want to create, like she doesn't want to say stuff to people's faces because she's not confrontational. Now, as far as I think all of them kind of have that complex where they don't see their own, like they're pardon the expression, but they're all knee deep in shit, but they can only smell the shit that somebody else is standing in. You understand what I mean? Like it's just crazy to me because the same way Janelle thought she had an inside with Cody, at least that's how it comes off, which is why she wasn't running back telling everybody, yo, we need to start checking his money because they spending the hell out of this damn family fund. This joint is coming up way short. It's coming up shorter than a kindergarten standing in a ditch. You understand? Downhill. Like this thing is short as hell. Like we putting hundreds of thousands of dollars in this money and we barely paying our bills. Because Cody and Robin are emptying this account out. And that would have helped to alleviate, and if she would have did that, that would have helped to alleviate any accusations that he would have made later that it was actually Janelle, if she would have said something from the beginning, right? But she didn't. And so it looks like when Cody comes back, it's like, no, that was Janelle. It just looks like Janelle might be compromised because now she's saying it is Cody. But I think part of the reason why she allowed it to happen is because she thought she had an in with Cody. She thought they had like some kind of bond or some kind of relationship, right? Same thing with Mary. Mary thought she was better than the other wives. She thought she was the founder. She thought she was the creator. She thought she had an in with Cody in the whole situation. She thought she was running shit. Then she found out different. Christine, she thought she, like you can tell now, she thinks she's better than them because she ran out and found a husband. But they're like, but it's just understanding and appreciating people where they are. And I appreciate what Daisy was saying. Like, even if I like you, I gotta be honest about what it is you're doing. And this is something I've always said. I have the practice where I try to be brutally honest with myself. So when it comes to other people, I can be honest with them. If I can sit around and be brutally honest with me, I can damn sure be brutally honest with you and tell you what's going on. You know what I mean? And just see people for what they are. This also prevents a whole lot of foolishness later on. Like, if you see people for who they are and what they're capable of, you won't spend a whole lot of time surprised when they do what they do because this is who they are. Right? Part of the problem that we see with Christine, Mary, Janelle, and Cody is that they're surprised that he treated them that way because they weren't paying attention to who he was. Right? You think that he said he was going to be there for me and the kids. He was going to be a family man and he was going to take care of his family. But you're not paying attention to where he is. I don't give a shit what he said 30 years ago. I don't care what he said 15 years ago when you guys started having kids, 30 years ago when you started having children. It's where he is today. That's what you need to be worried about because the man today is the one that broke your heart. The man today is the one that emptied out your bank accounts. The man today is the one trying to rip you out from under that land that he's got over there at County Pass. That's who he is today. I don't give a shit who he was 30 years ago. So I appreciate Daisy saying that she has to be honest about her assessment of the people. Let's go to part 3.
Yo, and as far as Christina or whatever, like, bro, she should have been left the show. Like, I don't know if she can't break her contract or what the fuck is going on. But, like, her continuing on the show and allowing Cody and Robin to rehabilitate their image uh, while interacting, with them, it's really tarnishing the power that she took back when she first left his ass high and dry. Like, it's just like, bro, like you need to keep any motherfucking connection with him going or whatever. And then it's just like it's like she likes to see like Cody and David in competition, like in each other with each other or whatever. Like I don't know. As much as like the community likes to champion Christine, for moving on the fastest and seemingly, being heads and shoulders above the other wives when it comes to disentangling themselves from Cody. I don't know, like it just seems like most of her actions were motivated to rub something in his face. I feel like Cody and Christine have that in common. Like they kind of operate petty the same way. Like just how Cody's being overly affectionate with Robin and trying to make, the OG wives feel a certain way. I mean, maybe Christine feels like she's just taking the revenge that she feels she has a right to for all them years that.
She got cut off again. Yeah, because I do think that there's something to that. I do think that there's a point where uh Christine has been a lot like hitting Cody back where she thinks he's his soft parts. She definitely tries to hit him in the soft parts. But I understand why she's doing it. And I say unless you're gonna this a cat things. Don't play with your food. Right? If you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Either do it and be done with it, or let them go. But don't keep them around. And I think that Daisy makes a point because that was one of the things I was thinking too, is that the longer you keep him around, the longer y'all soft pedal him and longer y'all soft shoe him because you're trying to keep him on the show, the more opportunity you have for him to turn this shit around. We all sit and pretend like Cody and Robin have no hope of ever turning this around, but I think that is only if it works or continues to work the way it's been working. Because remember, the negative feelings that we have towards Cody and Robin are only accentuated by the positive feelings we have about the OG3. And the only reason we feel so positively about the OG3, if we're going to be completely honest, isn't inherently them because they're so awesome and so wonderful. It's because they have the relative where they stand in relative in their relative nature to Cody and Robin. So because Cody and Robin are so bad on the show, it makes everybody else look that much better. But if you can diminish the OG3, you elevate Cody and Robin and you give them an opportunity where they can turn this whole ship around onto you. And that's where, like I say, don't keep them around. Don't keep them around. This is almost like if it's like a football game. If you play football, basketball, baseball, karate, martial arts, boxing, you get them in there, you kind of playing with them. At any moment, they could turn this bad boy around. And instead of you finishing them and being done with it, you keep playing with them. They get lucky because I don't think it'll be like, oh, they outsmarted the OG3 or they outsmarted everybody and all of a sudden they turn it around. I think they mess around and get lucky. That dog thing is just an example. Like, oh, she left the dog on the thing and said some nasty stuff about the dog getting eaten or killed or whatever. Ha 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 ha! It's so funny. The pet's going to be destroyed. Ha 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 ha! And then all of a sudden, it might not be that, but something along those lines could turn the audience against her, and that only helps and elevates Cody and Robin. So I think Daisy has a point.
Yeah, for all them years that Robin and Cody was playing in her motherfucking face and he wasn't passing by her crib and all them wives were just staring at them living their best life, I feel like Christine wants her crack at that. But it's just like, yo, just leave him the fuck alone, bro. Like, yo, these people ain't shit. Leave them where they're at. Like, who cares? Then another thing, back to Janelle. Janelle, you gonna sit up there and you still gonna champion polygamy and well, I think that financially they should have to give up some of their assets to each wife when they go, what man would want to do that? How about the fact that the man didn't want to pass by in the motherfucking first place? Like, yo, you want to financially hold these fucking dudes hostage? Yo, I mean, at least in the case of Cody, yo, if you would have held him hostage with his assets, he still wouldn't be passing by no more frequently. She kills me with that shit, bro. Yo, and I have more sympathy for Christine and Mary because they were kids and they were brainwashed and all that other shit and they raised up in the cult. She joined as a grown ass woman. Remember, you were fucking Mary's brother, Janelle? Remember that? You don't talk about that though, right? Yeah, you was a grown adult. You saw something you liked and you converted, and whatever he thought was fine with you. So I don't know. I don't trust her. I just don't trust her, yo. And the fact, well, Cody was charismatic, but David has an ego too. Like, what the fuck you trying to say? What the fuck you trying to say, yo? I don't know. If I was Christine, I wouldn't trust.
What you trying to say? But I do think that I mean, some shots were given. Some shots definitely were taken. I think that she tried to clean it up as far as David. She was trying to clean it up by saying that there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And I agree with that. Like I think that they can be confused, but confidence, usually when people are confident, they're confident because they've achieved something. Arrogance is confidence without achievement. And so I think that that's the very subtle difference. Like you just arrogant for no reason. And even with the whole thing with Christine, like I get that too. I get that too. But let's go to the next one.
Hey James, this is me on a different day because I could only stomach so much of that contrived bullshit in one motherfucking take. But having gone back and seen a little bit more or whatever regarding Tony and McKelty, yo, ain't that a bitch how they switched the fuck up and trying to make sure nobody notices like they was always on the winning side. No, 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 no. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't like how Tony used to have a lot to say about Christine. He used to, she spends a lot of money going on vacations. I remember him saying some shit like that. And like, I just remember, like, I don't know, I think he was upset because I don't know if Christina approved of how fast they were getting married or whatever, which was valid. And like, he just like sided with Cody and Robin until he looked stupid. And now they just want to be in the mix somehow. So now they're joining all their siblings in North Carolina or whatever, because they would have been basically stranded by themselves if they would have just remained Cody and Robin's allies or whatever. So now they're just, but it would be nice if they acknowledged a little bit more. Like they just say, oh, something bothered us, that happened with them. But it's kind of left really vague. And, I wasn't even going to comment on them because it's just like so clear to me. And I feel like, pretty much everybody in the family has a read on them. And, but I just do think it's crazy how shamelessly Cody and Robin discarded them once they were no longer useful.
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this about the two of them. Like I kind of got the feeling that they thought they were above or an exception to the rule, like McKelty and Tony, thought they were the exception to the rule because they were the kids that Cody and Robin were still contacting because they were contacting Cody and playing the game. But the second you don't want to play the game anymore, all of a sudden he has no use for you. The second you're no longer useful, you are no longer valuable and you're no longer around. So I think that that's part of it too. Because again, for me, it just goes back to the thing that, yeah, you get along with him because it wasn't your turn. It wasn't your turn not to get along with him. But as soon as he runs through all the people that he's trying to victimize and you're the only one left and you're the only person still standing there, he's going to start messing with you too. And I think that was just the inevitable conclusion of it all. Like when I heard that they weren't talking to him or there was a falling out between them and Robin and Cody, I wasn't surprised because that's usually the way it works out. But this is Daisy's last message. And you know what? And yeah, this is Daisy's last message.
I guess like my main criticism of the show or whatever is this, that like none of them are really likable anymore. I am a late watcher. I started watching around the time that Christine packed her shit up and got the fuck up out of Dodge, but um I don't like how they monetize and kind of use the fan base to their benefit. Uh we have those MLM schemes, and it seemed like Christine was happy with lying about, the reality and the background and the state of Cody's relationship and his treatment of the women, as long as he was breaking her off some affection. And then Janelle also the same. She was even willing to withhold information about his frivolous spending. And then like Mary, she like internalizes her frustration against the audience. She doesn't realize how much the audience is like rooting for her to make some positive life choices. So anyway, and then of course there's just Cody and Robin. It's like watching two psychos. Like It's like watching two psychos who think they're getting away with all their deceptions and they're not. So it's just weird. Like, so yeah, I can't foresee myself having many more comments going forward.
No, I appreciate Daisy calling in. It's always interesting when Daisy calls in. But again, I think that she's right on point because she's basically saying the same thing I've been saying. As far as a lot of the where do we go from here? Like, how do we move forward with the show? What's the natural evolution of where we are? Because to me, and this is something, if you go back to like even my raps of season 17 and season 18, when all the wives had left and it was established that they were all gone. Like, there's really zero reason why these people should contact each other. It's just not natural. It's not a natural evolution. Like, there are situations where people break up and they part and everything is amicable and they're able to talk and have conversations and they're able to co-parent. Is not a big deal, not a big issue. Cool. That's not them though. Like, you left, the place, they were bomb throwing, they were, allegations made, people were pissed, Cody's angry, he feels like you stole from him because you took your money with you. Like, there's a whole lot of animosity. So because there's so much vitriol between all the parties, it doesn't explain why they would ever contact each other. Why would you contact somebody who you don't like? Why would you want to spend time with somebody, and especially as far as they live apart from each other? Who's going to get in a car and drive for 5 hours to be annoyed? You understand what I mean? Like, there's no reason why we even talking. Like, if I can't say your name without putting the adjective before, after, or during your name, especially some kind of profane expletive before your name, that mother, you know what I mean? Like, if I got to do that, then I probably will not call you. Why would I? And you could say, well, Christine has Truly, but is he really interested in seeing Truly? Or is he just not interested in paying child support? You know what I mean? And if he is trying to see Truly, or he's, checking her out or paying or whatever, those conversations can be short. It doesn't have to be we have opportunity to film something. No, we don't. Let's put you guys in a situation where you can get together and apologize, and maybe we can keep filming and everything will be cool, because it doesn't explain to the audience, the people who've been watching the show, investing in the show, it doesn't explain to them why this would ever occur. Other than we just want to have money, which is kind of to Daisy's point, what this whole show was basically founded on, as we discovered in the most recent seasons. They've had problems the whole time. Christine was talking about leaving Cody before they got on the show. So this whole family is awesome. Brown family, polygamy is amazing. Cody is such a good man, and he takes time. And when he looks at you, it's like you're the only woman in the world. That was all bullshit. None of that made sense. It was all a lie, and it was all done for profit. It was all done for money. It was all done for opportunity, which is fine. And I'm not mad at you for taking the opportunity of this life-changing experience. I'm not mad at that. I get it. But at the same time, just because I accept the fact that you did it before doesn't mean I'm going to accept the fact that you're trying to do it next time. I accept you did it, back in season 1, episode 1, because you guys were in a different position than you are now. You should have been saving your coins and your nickels so that you can make better decisions as you move away from that period. But what I'm not going to do, like, I don't think that, and this is for all of them, like, because season 21, it really does come off like they're going to be stunting on us. It does. It feels like that. It feels like this season 21 is just basically going to be, ha ha, look how well I'm doing financially. Christine got her bed and breakfast, or not bed and breakfast, her what do you call them shits? The rental places. There's somebody's gonna put it in there. So she has those. Then Janelle's got her 159 acres where they're gonna be building houses and structures on that property. Mary's got her business plus her house that she's paying for, and she's world traveling. Then you have Cody and Robin. They're buying a $2 million house. This is a stunt on you for Airbnb. Thank you. This is the stunt on you fools edition of Sister Wives. We're just doing better than you financially. And then what are we going to hear? As soon as we start criticizing them, saying, oh, the show ain't really showing nothing, they ain't really got much of a story. All they talk about is how much money they have and how well they doing financially. Oh, you guys are just haters. You're just jealous that we're making so much money. No, I don't want to watch a show about nothing. Seinfeld was a show, it was a comedy. And none of you guys are funny. So it's not going to be there. And that's where I'm asking the question. That's why I've been asking the question. What are we going to be watching? And my only hope is that other YouTubers and other social media presence people who talk about this show echo the same sentiment. Don't sit around and talk about how awesome the show is and how great the show is and how interesting the show is, because they won't do anything to improve the show. And all that's going to do is kill the damn show. If you enjoy watching Sister Wives, you enjoy seeing these ladies progress in their lives, and you want to be around for whatever season 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 of Sister Wives, they have to do something else. They got to start picking the ball up. They can't mail this shit in. It's not going to work, because you are losing audience members. If you're listening to the phone calls that are coming in, people are talking about, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm getting bored. It's already episode 2. They haven't talked. They're 2 episodes in. They haven't talked about anything. There hasn't been one new thing that's been presented to us as a new element of the show. Everything that's being presented is either clarification of things that we've already speculated on, or it's a revisit of issues that have already been presented on the show in previous seasons. There hasn't been one thing that they put on this show that's like, wow, okay, that's different. Whoa, okay, I didn't see that coming. Wow, that's new. And if we're going to, and I'm going to be very blunt about this, if we're going to watch a monogamy show, they have to come with more than just, we used to be polygamous, but we're not polygamous anymore. There are tons of monogamy shows on TV. Some of those monogamy shows actually have famous people, like actual famous people on them. So what are we doing? But that's where I am. I think I've taken up enough of you guys' time. I appreciate everybody who called in, left their messages. I also appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Jody Pierce, up in the house. What's up, Jody? Let's give Jody some hearts in the chat for all that good news she got. Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to give a shout out to everybody who left the super chat. Jody Periscala, of course, number 1 with that good news. All right. Then, of course, we had Unlimited Lipstick. We had, Raspberry in the house. We had Mia Annie. I think that's right. 88 in the house. We had Who Cares, Melissa. We had Brittany, not Brittany, up in here. What's going on? We also had Caramel Cuties up in the house. We had Flufferton's mom, that with the gorgeous cat. We had Lizzie B. And we also had the Bronzed Empress, as well as Kathy Mosley. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. And I want to give a huge shout out to Caramel Cuties, Lizzie B, and Brittany Not Brittany, the Mega Mod Squad, holding it down for us. And I appreciate everybody who called in and left a message. Let me get that list so I can congratulate you guys, or at least acknowledge you. Brittany Not Brittany, Janet, Ann, Mary Mamalejo, Daisy Reyes in the house, Megatron, as well as Tanya Kata, Sunny Bunny in the house, Linda, as well as Macias. There we go. Hot dang. Got them all. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Join us again for the members. We'll have the member roundtable on Saturday, noontime, Eastern Standard Time. We'll be dropping that. Come join us. We have fantastic conversations. Last few roundtables have been amazing. They've been amazing. So make sure you join with that. Also, we'll be back for Sunday night after show party. You know, we pop it right as soon as it goes down, right? And hopefully, guys, here's the thing. I'm a glass half full guy. So hopefully this episode is going to be amazing. This episode is going to tell us something, and it's not going to be the same old, same old. Hopefully, but we'll see. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Make sure you have a fantastic night. Take care of yourself. Take care of those who take care of you, and be appreciative to everybody. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And I'm